Hello, SWTOR. Welcome to another Deconstruction Gaming live stream. Tonight we're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to go through the developer live stream that happened today during the day. I have watched through it once, but then we're going to go through here and talk about react to what's going on. I've also tried to build a new interface. We're going to test this out tonight. It'll be our first shot at it. So obviously we have me up at the top. Hello. Then we've got the video version of the live stream, so we can watch that. They write up a recap, so we can watch or go through the recap, see how it matches up. And then I'm on the test center right now. So if we want to go and look at anything on test center based off of what we see, everything but the story is on test center. And it looks like everything is still active there. And then if we need to go full screen for some of the stuff, we will. As needed. So that is the plan for tonight. So how do these all work? So this is just the video. It is long. We're not going to watch it straight through, but we'll watch sections of it and then talk about those individual pieces. If you have opinions, go ahead and feel free to throw them in the chat. I'm always happy to look at it from different perspectives. We will also then go through this. This is kind of basically the same stuff that's in the video, just in another form. Not sure how much time we'll spend on that, but it is available up there as well. If you want links to any of these things, they are down in the description down below. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to see the first section of the video here, and then we'll talk about it. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Star Wars The Old Republic Game Update 7.6 live stream. I am Jackie, Senior Community Manager.
I'm Eric Musco, Game Director.
Fancy meeting you here.
Yeah, you as well.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about today.
It is a long live stream. So the VOD is an hour and 22 minutes. They had like a 10-minute buffer at the beginning of it on the Twitch version, so...
A lot to talk about
We
today.
were literally taking bets on how long this stream was going to be, and all of them were over an hour.
Yeah.
Which I guess is relevant to this slide, actually.
Yeah, I'm thinking an hour 25. That's my personal bet.
I said an hour and 23, so Price is Right rules are not looking good for me. But
Okay, so as you can see, first off, I fully recommend that you all stick around until the very end of the stream. One, because we have a lot to talk about and showcase, but also there is an active Twitch drop that's happening right now.
Yep.
So starting with today and going until November 20th, if you watch 1 hour of SWTOR content on Twitch, you will be able to obtain the Ilum Art poster decoration.
Yep.
Now, in order for you to obtain this, make sure.
All right, so let's talk about this one just a little bit. If you watch this whole live stream, you actually would have qualified. I don't think the VODs count. You have to actually watch live people. So if you go and find somebody to watch this, you can see that. So if we pull that up, there you go. We'll turn that one off. So it's a decoration. They talk actually about 2 different Twitch drops in this stream. So this one's just a decoration that you get. I found somebody streaming while I was setting my stuff up today and got a half of it done, just kind of watching them in the background. So this is the second Twitch drop that they've done so far in the grand scheme of things there.
Make sure that you go to SWTOR.com, go into your account page, make sure that you hook up your SWTOR account and your Twitch account and connect those two. So that way you'll be able to partake in any of the drops that we enable for like the rest of the year.
Yep.
So this is what it looks like.
Yep. And again, we'll be shocked if somehow you don't earn this. Shocked.
Yes, absolutely. But that's not the only Twitch drop that is going to be coming.
Setting that up is actually pretty easy. I set it up when they did the first Twitch drop in the last live stream. And I think within the day, that one was like 4 or 8 hours. I'll have to look. I can't remember. But that one was really easy as well.
Coming your way. At 7.6 launch, if you watch 4 hours of SWTOR content on Twitch, you will be able to unlock the Amethyst Volptilla mounts. Look how beautiful that is. Purple's the best color. I'm so happy that, Brad, I'm so happy that we were able to do this. It's a beautiful mount. And we actually have quite a few mounts that are geared up for, like, I would say, like the next several years, honestly. So this kind of sets up the cadence for how Twitch drops are going to be working from now on. There's going to be an active one for every dev stream. There's going to be an active campaign for every game update launch as well. For the dev stream.
All right, so, you know, they're starting out obviously with some of the, I don't want to say smaller things, but it is definitely they talk about it here on the screen, right? Twitch drops are enabled. The purple one is for the 1 hour. That one ends on November 28th. So make sure if you do want that decoration, you get that in relatively quickly. And then this talks about launching the 7.6. They don't give an exact date, but we'll talk about that later. They strongly hint at the date of the release of 7.6. So if you do want this, make sure just go you have to find a streamer who has registered that their stream is a SWTOR stream, and then you'll get credit for it. It's pretty easy. If you have any questions about it, ping me in the comments. I'll try to help you get that set up.
Streams, watch 1 hour, active for 14 days. Game update launches, watch for 4 hours, going to be active for 28 days. And with game update launches, we're going to be altering between creature mount, mechanical mount, creature mount, mechanical mount. So for 761, you can expect a mechanical mount.
Yep, so if you're watching the VOD as an example, if you're not watching this live, you can still watch that hour of content from the next 14 days from November 14th, which is today, to be able to still earn the Ilum decoration.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, so I've watched the VOD, and I didn't get any credit. But again, I found, actually it was New Overlords were streaming on Test Center. And so I watched a bit of their video today and got 30 or 50% of it done pretty quickly.
All right. Now getting into the meat and potatoes of the stream. What are we talking about today?
That's right. So we're talking about everything that is coming in 7.6. And again, this is going to be a long one. So get yourself a drink, strap in for a long stream. So first up, Ashley and Caitlin are going to talk to you about the Galactic Threads storyline, where we're going next in everything in the story. After that, what's coming next to the cartel market. So Brad and Fred, you already heard Jackie talking off stream to the other folks that are going to be joining us on stream, talk about what's coming into the cartel market. We have dynamic encounters. Brooke's pressing buttons too quickly. Yep, dynamic encounters, the next content type coming into 7.6, along with Comlink, a new UI, a new way for us to serve some narrative stuff. You'll see that in a bit. We also have the new layer boss, the Propagator Core XR53, Replicator Gone Wrong, band name in high school. Which will also, look, how far into the stream are we? And I already got a band name joke in. Thank you. Which will also come with new augments for players to earn. So Bryant was going to come and talk to you about how the new augments will work and what changes will come with augments in 7.6. All of this will be on PTS. Actually, been on PTS a little bit, but all this will be on PTS for you to test. And
yeah, that's a good point. So we did 2 live streams when PTS first launched, and got all the dynamic encounters done. I haven't found a group for the lair bosses yet. I'd like to get into a group, so I might try to do that this weekend. Now that this is back up and running and new again, maybe people will get excited on that.
And earn some new incentive for testing it. Beautiful, beautiful new mini pet. Except no story, yeah. And we'll talk details about that. Thank you, Kate. New PvP season 7, along with some changes to PvP we'll be talking about as well, alongside season 7. And Life Day's coming back. 'Tis the holiday season, and that means Life Day's back as well. Hug some Wookiees, throw some snowballs, earn some sweet new rewards, which we'll be talking to you about as well.
And then our finalists have been selected for the Best View in SWTOR contest, and we're going to be showing off all of those lovely, lovely shots.
That's right. And so that's going to do it for Jackie and I for now.
We'll be back. We'll be back.
We'll be back to talk about a lot of the stuff that's there. So we'll hand it over to Ashley and Caitlin to tell you all about what's coming in the 7.6 story. Bye.
Bye.
All right, we're going to go ahead and skip forward here a little bit as they change seats. Now, for me, it's interesting because I watch most YouTube content on double speed, personally. So It's always weird to watch things. People's voices sound a lot different when you play it at normal speed. So, okay. So let's talk. So this is the thing that won't be on Test Center. They rarely ever put the story stuff up on the test. But this is the next section of story. Now, whether you're watching this live stream or my live stream, they're going to give a warning. I'm going to give a warning. There's definitely spoilers coming. Not necessarily too much in what the 7.6 story is going to be, although maybe a little. So if you've already done up through 7.5, I don't think there's anything in here that is that telling that's going to give away the story. But if you have not done the story up to 7.5 and you don't want that part spoiled, I would stop watching my stream. I wouldn't watch this because it's about to give away that content. Because it's basically for 7.6, everything up to 7.6 is the backstory to get you there. And they do talk about those things and choices and parts of that. So just as a warning, if you don't want spoilers, be aware that's what's coming in this next section.
Hello there. I am Ashley Rule. I am the narrative director on Star Wars: The Old Republic.
And I'm Caitlin Sullivan Kelly. I'm the principal writer on Star Wars: The Old Republic.
So today we are here to talk to you about the Galactic Threads storyline, the next chapter in our saga here. Now, first off, top of this, we just want to say, spoiler warning. We're going to talk about the way things ended at the end of 7.5 because, you know, some pretty significant things happened in the story. So if you don't want spoilers, please wait maybe 10, 15 minutes, skip ahead. We're going to talk a little bit about that and then where we're going in Galactic Threads. Good? Okay, cool. All right, so what is happening, Caitlin?
A lot of things have happened, and if you haven't clicked off yet, don't look at this because it's literally a recap of everything that happened in our most recent update, which was Desperate Defiance in 7.5. So probably the biggest thing that happened at the beginning of 7.5 is former Jedi Padawan Sahar Katin approaches the player and asks for help getting the elusive holocron of Darth Nul away from Hidden Chain leader Field Marshal Hedda Cole. And the mission was successful. At the end of Desperate Defiance, the player actually helps Sahar get the holocron. It's in the player's possession. However, the prison ship where the holocron and the machine were being stored is destroyed in the process. And unfortunately, we have no idea what Sahar and Rakan's fate, Rakan being Sahar's brother. Also, during the mayhem during this mission, the player not only got the holocron, but also managed to free a group of Force-sensitive refugees from this prison ship. And during the course of this mission, because of the holocron, because of the refugees they found, because of what happened at the end of the update, the player had several opportunities to either strengthen their relations with either the Republic or the Empire, or make some choices that kind of put them on uneven footing. And then, at the end, as Ashley mentioned, some crazy stuff happened, and I'm pretty sure not only all the players, but the characters in the story are also going, what the heck is happening? But Shae Vizsla actually led a super secret team of mercenaries to break into the fleet and free Darth Malgus from his prison cell there. And they kind of flew off into the galaxy, not to be seen again. We don't know what they're doing. No one knows.
Malgus is loose.
He's loose again. But to make matters worse, he now has the powerful Mandalore Avenger on his side, and nobody knows why she did it, which makes things even more strenuous.
Yeah. So there's just a couple things going on.
Yeah.
Just a handful of things.
Only a handful of plates spinning in the air that we need to keep up with. Not that many.
Yeah.
But for Galactic.
Okay, so that is the recap up to 7.5. I've mostly enjoyed the story, personally. The biggest complaint is it does seem like it's been drug out over time. Like we're getting little updates, every few months, and it's been going for a long time. The other complaint that you hear a lot for the current story arc, so it would be I'm spacing on the name of the whole story arc. The Sith Legacy, something like that. Legacy of the Sith, that's what it is. The other thing that you hear a lot of people complaining about is some people will like the Malgus stuff. I think less people like the Shae Vizsla stuff. So this last bullet point here, Shae Vizsla and Darth Malgus linking back together, I think is why we've kind of been going back and forth. I personally have really liked the Shae Vizsla stuff. I think I probably would have preferred these to be two separate stories, not necessarily even happening at the same time, although that could be a really interesting way to play, where you can choose one story or the other story and play them both through, but maybe even, at different times. But minor quips here. But yeah, I think the rate of story has probably been the biggest complaint. But it was a decent twist at the end. I didn't see Shae Vizsla has gone a little rogue a few times throughout the story. And so, yeah, her breaking Darth Malgus out was definitely a bit of a surprise. We have played through the story on kind of a dark side, light side version. So we'll probably do the same thing in 7.6. All right, let's see what they have to say.
Galactic Threads we're actually going to be picking up very shortly after where Desperate Defiance left off. As you can imagine, everyone is kind of just flabbergasted. They don't know why Shae would choose to do this. It's going to have far-reaching consequences for many people across the galaxy, not just the Alliance, the Mandalorians, but the Republic and the Empire as well. But basically where we're going to kick the story off is the Mandalorians that are still loyal to Shae Vizsla, who are still fighting against the Hidden Chain, who still believe they can kind of bring Shae Vizsla back, and they actually come into the player and offer their assistance to help track down Shae Vizsla and Darth Malgus. I think that's what the clip is that we have today.
We have a little teaser clip from the beginning of Galactic Threads. So.
Sneak peek of that.
Okay, so if you haven't already been run away from spoiler warnings, you're about to see now game footage. So it's like one of the first conversation trees. Also, if you are interested in it, if you go to this recap, right, one thing that's kind of cool about the recap is this is the full video. That's the full thing that we're watching right now. And then they break it down by section. So they'll show the sections. And again, like this is going to be the video we're about to watch. So if you don't want to sit and watch through the whole video or something like that, or you just want to go and re-find some piece of information, this can be a good way to find it, because it gives you this is the section about the Galactic Threads, right? And kind of gives an overview. Then this is the section about the cartel stuff. And so they break it up into smaller little clips over here. So this is the news article that if you don't want to just sit and watch the entire live stream. So, all right, in order to get this one to go, let's actually we'll go full screen on this one, since it is a nice little clip. And I don't think there's music in it. I'm trying not to get copyright claimed if I can help it. So.
You're sure it was them?
Entirely. This particular Hidden Chain strike team had been harassing a nearby settlement for some time. The residents were very eager to tell Theron everything they saw.
Then we need to move before they can... Shae's flagship.
It must be the Arbiter. He took command of it after Shae disappeared.
Stay alert. This could go either way. Apologies for showing up like this.
This isn't the way to do things, Jakara. Not after everything you let happen.
I know that. Under less dire circumstances, I would have taken that into consideration. As a show of our support and our commitment to this partnership, we're here to help put an end to all of this, however we can.
Oh, tense times with the loyal Mandalorians.
Very tense.
We'll see where that goes. So, there are a lot of things coming into Galactic Thread.
All right, so that might get a copyright claim. We'll deal with that, but it was worth watching out. So I'm going to guess that is probably your opening cutscene. They're not going to show too much, deep into it. And again, no surprises here. You've got so you got two main factions going on. You've got Shae Vizsla's group, and you've got the Hidden Chain, which is Hedda Cole's group. That's the big conflict right now going on. Obviously, you've been on Shae's side for the most part. And then as these play out, I'm sure we're going to get Republic and Imperial interests, because in 7.5, there was a scene where you meet with the leadership of whichever faction you're aligned with, right? Imperial or Republic. And they express all these concerns about Shae and, not knowing what Shae's doing and things like that. And now that she's gone rogue and, the last scene in 7.5 where they break Malgus out is a really cool scene. Some of there's a Mon Calamari with a cybernetic eye, and it's a really cool kind of group. It doesn't surprise me that, now everybody's going to have to kind of decide, who are you supporting? Are you supporting the commander? Or are you supporting Shae? Are you supporting Hedda Cole? That's the Mandalorian side of things. And then how are the Imperial and Republic representatives going to react to somebody under your leadership going rogue and taking away their prisoner? Because Malgus was on either the Imperial or the Republic fleet. And so they are a big, they had him in custody, so you took them from them. So those are probably some of the predictions for the story. So again, this launch where the two brothers there, I think they're brothers, they're going to talk a little bit about this, but the two brothers are being like, hey, you know what? She did this thing. We're not supporting it. We're here to help you. So it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out. All right, let's see what they have to say about it. They're the writers.
We can explore the storylines that we can explore. So we've actually made a new mission style, I guess, for this story, where we have multiple threads, see what we did there, to explore in this update. So first off, the player has the holocron. What secrets can we unlock? Like, what can we learn about Darth Null and what the purpose of it was? What is the Hidden Chain doing now that their prison ship is destroyed, the machine is destroyed, but they're still out there. They're still vying for power. And what is Malgus's ultimate goals, and what is he doing with Shae Vizsla? So this storyline has multiple threads that you can explore in different orders, and a lot of companions along the way. So there are a lot of relationships you can affect and stories you can tell. So we are going to go through a couple of the characters that we'll see in Galactic Threads.
Yep, as Ashley mentioned, there's going to be lots of different leads to follow up on in this story update, and as such, we're going to need some companion characters with a wide variety of expertise, I guess you should say. So we're going to see a lot of familiar faces, but a lot of varying faces as well. As you saw in the story teaser clip, we have Jakaya and Ras Ordo joining us again. I think this is the first time that Jakaya has actually been someone who's kind of joined us, not permanently, obviously, but someone who we kind of can go back to and get information from.
He kind of had his hand forced in that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
But he steps up.
He steps up kind of where and occupies a space where Shae used to be. He's the arbiter of the current loyal Mandalorians, which kind of made him Shae's second in command. Sorry, her right hand man. And after Shae did what she did, he obviously had to step up and take leadership responsibility, even if he might not be that interested in it. He's obviously going to do the job that needs to be done. His younger brother Ras is going to be joining us again as well. We fought next to him in a boots on the ground capacity several times on Runuk, most recently on Port Nowhere and Chains in the Dark. And he's going to be, he's obviously not very happy about what's transpiring.
It's harder for him to hide how he feels about this whole situation.
Yeah, he's not leading people, so he can be a little more blatant about what's happening when it comes to his emotions. He's obviously not dealing with it well and struggling a little bit. So we're going to explore that a little bit whenever he joins the player on one of the missions. Arn Paralan is going to be joining us again, the Jedi Knight. Player has kind of been following his journey as he's gone from a Jedi Padawan into his own as a Jedi Knight. Most recently, we saw him in Desperate Defiance at the end when he was kind of checking in with the player after the player succeeded in the mission of the Hidden Chain prison ship. And we also got to work alongside him very closely on Ord Mantell during Chains in the Dark. And we've kind of presented Arn in a way where he's been very interested in history, and he's been helping the group in the Republic that's been researching the history of Darth Null and what she was about, what she was up to. And because he has that sort of expertise, he is a perfect fit to come and join us as we kind of look for more clues about Darth Null's history.
Mm-hmm.
So far, these with Major Henri here, Ras and whatever his name was, Arn, they're probably going to be at least temporary companions. I can't remember. I don't think you've gotten any of these as permanent companions yet, but they will be part of, as they use companions to tell stories.
The flip side of Arn is Major Henri is coming back. Since we saw her on Manon, she has had a bit of a promotion. She is an attaché to Darth Krovos and kind of working as another liaison between the Players Alliance and the Sith Empire hierarchy. She comes and joins us on a mission, not to really keep an eye on us, but to offer a helping hand, offer some input of things that are happening within the Empire, and ways that the player's relationship with the Empire is kind of changing and evolving. She'll be there to kind of give those hints.
And she always brings her own snark.
Yep. We're still hunting down Hidden Chain Mandalorians, and who better to help us there than Akabi Spar, who cannot stand the Hidden Chain Mandalorians. And she's obviously kind of risen through the ranks a little bit as well within the Loyal Mandalorians ever since she helped on Runuk, ever since she helped the player kind of hunt down different aspects of Hedda Cole's Hidden Chain. She's very loyal to Shea Vizsla and, by extension, Jakaya. So Jakaya kind of tasks her with helping the player once more in one of the missions. So we're going to be doing a little bit more archaeology in this update. Last we saw...
I kind of like Talos. I don't know if he's most people's favorite character, but I kind of dig him. He's kind of cool.
Talos Strelick was during Digging Deeper. He was present at the ruins of Darth Null's temple on Elam during the dig there. They were trying to get deeper into the temple after Malgus kind of brought everything down. And in this update, we learned that he and his team had a little bit of luck. They've breached part of the ruins, and we're going to go look into that a little bit with Talos' help.
It's always a good day when Talos shows up.
Yep. And last but not least, we have Lana Benico. For most of the update, Lana's going to be acting as kind of holding down the base of operations for us, giving us intel for the leads that we're going to be looking into. But there is something that happens that makes her say that she has to get out there into the field out of the kind of administrative capacity that she sometimes holds. And if it's something bad enough that Lana needs to get her lightsaber out and go into the field, it's probably pretty bad. So she'll be joining us for that particular mission.
Yeah, it's always great to see Lana come back into the field and
show off her
work
Sith
with us.
skills.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, I think this next part is probably one of the most important things of the whole live stream, and actually is unfortunately a disappointing announcement, but I think that's about what they're rolling into. So I'm gonna let them talk about it, and then we will react after that.
Yeah, and I think also as far as locations go, these characters that we just saw, that we just described to you, are going to be joining us all across the galaxy. We're going to be taking a look at Hoth, Tatooine. We're going to be going back to Elam, as I mentioned before. And also there are some rumors abounding that some Alliance members may have discovered the ruins of the Emperor's fortress on Elam, which, if you'll remember, during the Battle of Ilum storyline, was the stealth spaceship that belonged to the Emperor that Darth Malgus then took for himself when he rebelled. It crashed to the surface, and the player and their allies can locate the wreckage. Who knows what kind of secrets they may find in there.
Yeah.
That does sound like a new area that they're going to build out. So whether it will be a flashpoint or daily area or something like that, don't know. Almost doesn't make sense as a daily area. So we shall see.
Yeah, that's really exciting stuff if we can find it and figure out what Malgus's plans are from there. So that is all we want to talk about the Galactic Threads storyline today. There's so much in this update, and we're so excited for y'all to get to experience it. There is a caveat. So while this production is very well underway, is a caveat. So while
you can see
get to experience it.
So I want to give them credit. This is hard to do when you're delivering disappointing news. Watching, like, you can see the expression on her face. You can see the frustration even that they have about the announcement that they're making here. So I do feel for them. So kudos to them for doing it. You know, job or not, it's a difficult situation to be in. But you can watch her reaction as this comes up. You can just see it.
There is a caveat. So while this production
you can
is
feel
very
it.
well underway, we currently do not have all the elements we need to complete this story and to deliver it to you. So with that in mind, we are delaying the Galactic Threads storyline, just the storyline, until we can complete the story to our quality standards and what you're expecting when you play the story. So the moment we have everything we need to finish this story, we will get it in your hands. But we're very excited for you to check it out. There's so much here, and we are very, very happy to give you this chapter.
You can see, you can see it on their faces. You could just see the emotion. I'm going to go back through this section.
But to say that.
Okay, let's go back through this because there's a couple things. I don't want to overread too much into this.
We are delaying the story and to deliver it. We currently do for y'all to storyline today. Yeah, that's really exciting stuff if we can find it. Talk about the Galactic Threads storyline today. There's so much. There is a caveat.
Okay.
So while this production is very well underway, we currently do not have all the elements we need to complete this story and to.
Okay, so that line, we don't have all the elements to complete this story. There's two ways that I could see this actually being a thing. Thing number one, if they are building out a new area on Elam and part of the story has to take place there, and in building that, they don't have all the assets done, they don't have some gameplay done, they haven't built the boss mechanics aren't working, whatever it might be, that could be the thing that's delaying it. I can't imagine they haven't written the story, right? Or at least know what the story is going to be. It could also be things that they're not going to admit to. It could be voice actors. With everything that's happened over the last year or so, with the Screen Actors Guild and voice acting and things like that, maybe they just didn't get that recorded. There's a lot of reasons that aren't necessarily their fault that could contribute to that. And the fact that they use that wording.
We currently do not have all the elements we need to complete this story.
Right, so we don't have all the elements we need to complete the story. Also, I want to take that phrase in as well. Complete the story. Again, two ways I think you could read this. Complete the story in just 7.6, or complete the story in this whole Malgus arc so that they're going to start moving us on to a new thing. It feels like the first one. I don't know where the story is going to end. It feels like we're getting close to the end, right? Like whatever Malgus is trying to do with Darth Null, now that he's broken out, will they accomplish something? Will this be the final arc? I don't know. But listen to the way they say about when they talk about completing the story. I think you could read into it either way.
Underway. We currently do not have all the elements we need to complete this story and to deliver it to you. So with that in mind, we are delaying the Galactic Threads storyline, just the storyline, until we can complete the story to our quality standards and what you're expecting when you play the story.
So when she says just a storyline, and they talk about this later in the video, what that means is everything else that's launching for 7.6 is going to be in, except the story. So all the gameplay elements, the dynamic encounters, all of those things. I have mixed feelings about that. I'll talk about that at the end of their little section here.
So the moment we have everything we need to finish this story, we will get it in your hands. But we're very excited for you to check it out. There's so much here, and we are very, very happy to give you this chapter. But that is the only part of 7.6 that is going to be delayed. There's a ton more stuff that we have coming up in the stream, and really hope that you'll take a look at it. So with that, Caitlin and I are going to jump off, and we're going to hand over the mics to Brad Lewis, our art director, and Fred Newman, our art producer, to talk about Cartel Market Editions, some cool new bundles, and art assets and initiatives. So good to see y'all, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye.
All right, good job, ladies. These two are a hoot. They're like a comedy duo, so they're going to be fun. Okay, so to kind of wrap this up, again, they keep talking about this story. So I'm thinking 7-6 isn't the end of the Legacy of the Sith, the current story arc. But I can't imagine there's many more left. So basically, whenever we find out 8.0 is going to release, I think we'll have a better idea on that. Now, if we switch back over to the recap, right? So they talk about the things that they just said. They list the characters, Hoth, Tatooine, dig site on Elam, probably a new area, it feels like. I also find it really cool / interesting that if you look at where all the new content is going, Tatooine and Hoth are the two planets that also have the dynamic encounters. So they've kind of linked all this stuff together and work within that region. I think that's a pretty cool idea. Something else that I would consider as a player, me personally, I would almost, I'm debating this in my own head right now. I would almost prefer story updates and big gameplay initiatives to actually alternate, right? Like, I don't think this is a horrible thing. I'm disappointed because the story is where, you get hours of content. But in a weird way, like, this is most likely, 7.6 is most likely going to launch in December. We'll talk about that towards the end. But to have it launch in December, and I'm grinding through dynamic encounters, and I'm trying to get the achievements, to get the rewards, and I'm doing the mission for the decorations that they're going to talk about here in a little bit, and I'm doing all of this gameplay stuff, and then that starts to peter out, and then they launch the 7.6 story, and now I get to play the 7.6 story, and while working through the 7.6 story, then the next set of gameplay, dynamic encounters hit 2 new planets, or the next little system comes in. I wouldn't mind that cadence. I don't need everything to hit all at once. Now, obviously, again, if we look at this, the fact that the story is taking place here on Hoth and Tatooine means they're probably working on all this together, and it was kind of meant to go together. And so there's probably some disappointment, but yeah, for those two ladies, kudos to you guys. You can see and feel the disappointment within them. And while I'm disappointed, I at least am happy that they care that much, right? That it's not just no big deal. It's late, you'll get it when you get it. So I'd much rather have that. So cool on that. Unfortunately, that is probably the one sad moment in the stream is the story arc's not going to release. So, and that's kind of all I think they really talked about. Maybe they recap it at the end, but all right, let's go ahead and move forward here. Again, I'm going to skip forward here a little bit because I don't know if they put music in here. Okay, I found these two guys very entertaining. They're funny to me. Might not be everybody's cup of tea, but they're definitely cool. Just a shout out to Brad Lewis, posted up on, I can't remember if it's Blue Sky or Twitter, one of his, he built the mount. Let's see, let me jump into this mode here. This mount here, this part of one of their latest bundles or whatever. And so he posted something about it on Twitter or whatever. And so I liked it and quoted it as like, I actually really like this mount. I like the look of it. I like the functionality, the turbo boost that you get. I love the sound. I've got the game sound off right now. There we go. Here, let's crank that up because that's a great sound. I love that sound. So I quoted him and gave him a retweet, or I think it was on Twitter. I can't remember. And he liked it. So thank you, Brad. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna get off that mount because I can hear it. I turned it off for you guys, but okay, let's go ahead and go back over to here, and we'll let this rip.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brad Lewis. I'm the art director for Star Wars: The Old Republic, and I get to work with Fred here and the rest of the amazing.
If you've watched past live streams, he's also, I think, the one that builds all of the physical versions of these. So not only does he do the digital models and everything that goes into the game, he actually builds out physical models of a lot of these props, which is kind of cool.
Art team to provide quality, beautiful artwork for the game we all enjoy.
And I'm Fred Newtman, art producer on the project. I get to do all sorts of stuff. My team works with Brad on stuff we're going to talk about in just a few minutes, and a wide array of things from event rewards, galactic seasons, and even the last few years, environment modernization, which you may or may not have seen.
Right. It's some exciting stuff that we're trying to do. First thing we're going to talk about is the Remote Trading Outpost Bundle. This one is a massive selection of decos that are inspired by Galaxy's Edge.
Okay, so this section is kind of cool. I'll react to it at the end, but one of the worries that a lot of people had when Broadsword took over the Old Republic is, are they going to go into a complete maintenance mode and not put new stuff in? Now, obviously, the story and the things like that would continue to a certain extent. But are they mostly just going to turn this game into like, okay, we'll build stuff for the cartel market and just let you guys play the existing stuff? The things coming in 7.6 feel like they're not content with that. You've got the dynamic encounters, which is a whole new thing. You had the venture system with Bessie, the droid, is a whole new thing. And while this is a cartel market element, the way they are doing it, I find kind of cool. It's a little different, but it's kind of cool. So let this roll, and then we'll talk about it.
And it's a brand new kind of decoration bundle. So we're trying something new. It's a little terrifying, but very excited about it. This is going to be a bundle that has not one, but two full sets of decorations. So a veritable hut load of decorations for you to get, and two mini pits to walk away from.
That's right.
And right in the middle of that, some lightweight gameplay. So,
that's right. This is the first deco bundle we've ever released that has embedded gameplay and quests in that come along with it. So we're excited to see how people react to that. Here is work in progress of the bundles. This has some street lights and some
garbage cans. Because you need garbage cans to keep your stronghold clean.
Right.
You just got to make sure to empty them because you don't know what it might draw.
Right. We've got an assortment of light fixtures and other fountains and water things that you can place that you may or may not have seen in Galaxy's Edge if you've ever been able to visit there. We kind of wanted to let you bring some of the magic of that experience back to your stronghold. This cantina, for example, is placeable on both a starship hook and a centerpiece hook. And what's special about hooks this time around?
Very.
All right, so I've seen some decorations that you can place and you can walk on, like there's an arena and things like that. I can't remember any like this that are essentially a building that you can walk into. Now, they might exist. I just don't remember. But I definitely find that interesting that this is something that they're placing here. Right, so they're placing on this hook.
This cantina, for example.
And it goes down as a building that you can now walk into. Now, I don't know and or think that you'll be able to place things inside of it. Like, are there more hooks? Although they do talk about changing the hook layouts to support this. But I don't know if there's enough detail there to know if, like, can I place this and then inside of here have like the little tiny green square hooks that you could put stuff inside the building? I don't know on that, but kind of a cool system here.
Is placeable on both a starship hook and a centerpiece hook. And what's special about hooks this time around?
Very special. Our Brooks has set up new layouts. Right.
I don't think they've done that. I mean, they've fixed some layouts in some of the strongholds. I don't know that they've updated the layout system since Strongholds came out. So, again, another just kind of moment of are they just going to rest on this game and not continue to improve things, or are they going to actually make these kind of improvements? So that's kind of cool to see.
On the centerpiece and the starship hooks, you're going to have a brand new layout that will accommodate the cantina, but you can use it for anything.
So that's the part I don't quite understand, right?
The starship hooks, you're going to have a brand new layout that will accommodate the cantina, but you can use it for anything.
So accommodate the cantina. So what does that mean? Does it mean that they just had to resize things to get a building type hook to be here? Or does it mean that, you place it, but now there's overlapping hooks so that you can put stuff inside of it? Kind of cool. I'm a little excited to see because if they start to improve this, I know some decorators who sometimes get frustration with the limitations of the hook system. But if they start improving the hook system and that propagates out to other things, it could be exciting.
Brooks has set up new layouts. On the centerpiece and the starship hooks, you're going to have a brand new layout that will accommodate the cantina, but you can use it for anything.
Right. Now, what the state of these decos, it looks like they're a little bit neglected, don't you think?
Yeah, look at that sad boy.
Oh, that poor DJ droid.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a shot of them repaired. Now, how is it going to work that they go from...
Okay, so look at this, right? We've got the neglected version.
Yeah, look at that sad boy.
Oh, that poor DJ droid.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've got now a cantina that is empty, and I can't tell if this is supposed to be the neglected version or not. But then watch this transition.
Here's a shot of them repaired. Now, how is it going?
So inside of here now, there are people. There's a droid. Are those placed, or are they now part of the repaired, fixed decoration? Don't know.
To work that they go from neglected to repaired.
Open for business?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's really easy. All you have to do really is go by the cartel store, pick this up. Once you click on it, you'll see, oh no, I've got all these neglected pieces, which you get to keep. There's going to be another little piece in there too that will start you on some tomfoolery and a little lightweight gameplay because, we all like to talk to the manufacturer about the stuff we bought that's broken.
That's right.
So once you do that, then of course you'll have the repaired items. And that's what this is right here.
So the neglected and the repaired versions of each are available to you. We're not going to remove the neglected once they're repaired at all.
No, and you get the repaired versions unlocked through the gameplay like we were saying along. And also, our new friends, the Baby Dianoga and D5CO, our disco DJ droid.
Right, these were so much fun to build, and we cannot wait for you guys to get them. It's been a load of fun to build these. This Baby Dianoga is a hovering mini pet, and the disco droid is a land-based pet that will randomly play a light show and a music track.
So you can have them both out at the same time.
That's right.
All right, so in summary, again, let's going back to this. When you open the Remote Trading Outpost bundle, you're going to get all of these neglected items to begin with, and you can use them wherever you want. Split up between strongholds if you want. But once they're repaired,
you get all of the repaired versions of the original decos, plus the one Cantina Bartender, the Dianoga mini pet, and the D5CO Disco Droid mini pet.
Oh, yeah.
So that's really pretty cool. Now, how much is this going to cost? It is a cartel market item. But we're looking at here 4, 6, 10, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 66, 76, 82, if I did the math in my head right. So 82 neglected versions, and then it looks like the same number here. So is this 164 plus the cantina and the 2 pets? Don't know, but what I do like about this is you get this, and there's an interactive content chunk here in the middle to get this. I saw some chat in the new Overlords live stream. Jackie was in there, and she stressed a couple of times that it's not a lot. Don't be expecting to spend hours on this, but it's kind of fun to engage you with something like this, especially since it is purchased content. Also, there are a lot of times where if you have a version and you change it to another version, you lose the original version. So if you want to put a stronghold together where you have this broken down stuff, you could, separate from one where you have the good stuff. So, again, decoration's not for everybody, and the galactic trade or the cartel market, not necessarily for everybody. I completely understand that, but this is kind of cool. Plus, you get the mini pets as a bonus for doing the mission. Kind of like it.
Yes.
But wait, Fred, that's not all.
That's not?
No, that is all. This is plenty. This should be if we did more than that, we'd still be working on it. Now we're going to talk about the cartel market, skeleton crew inspired things we've got ready for 7.6. Wait, 7.7.6.
7.6, 7. You say dot, I say point.
It's 7 3/5.
The takeaway here is that I'm going to wear this. I'm going to wear this outfit for the winter.
This is a fantastic outfit we've got for the prominent figures in Skeleton Crew. It's got the pirate-themed jacket, and the variant 2 is pirate-themed without jacket. So you get the jacket or just the shirt. They're both great outfits.
These are some striking Buccaneers, but I think they need some Buccaneer gear.
Oh, yes. We've got the Fearless Buccaneer Vibroblade, Vibrostaff, Pistol, Assault Cannon, Blaster Rifle, and Sniper Rifle. This weapon set is complete with all of these things and the Vibroblade, or no, the Lightsaber and Dual Saber. I'm sorry, there's so many of these this time around.
These are gorgeous, Brad. These are gorgeous.
Hard to keep track of them all. No, they're beautiful. They're such great weapons.
I'm going to have this one, but you know what? I'm dying to know more about what's next.
Okay, so like I said, these guys, I like their banter, but like many expansions, they're going to add new gear, they're going to add new weapons. They're not for everybody. Some people like different ones, but it's always good to have your choices. So good on them. I don't know. The gear was okay. I like the jacket. I do like that they are, if it's in the same set, that you have a choice between which tunic you're going to wear. Do you want just the undershirt version or the jacketed version? I've seen this a couple of times on armor sets where it's got the chest piece. There's two versions, or like the hood up version and the hood down version. I can see role players really liking this, where you role play outside with the jacket on, you go inside, you take the jacket off. I also don't mind having some gear sets that look more like almost normal clothes. The one thing that I find interesting about the game is, if we go here to just my character that's in game right now, this doesn't look like something that you would wear out and about, just lounging around, right? The gear's all pretty epic gear. But it's one of those, it's nice to have some sets like this that are kind of like more normal, so I think this is actually kind of cool.
Here. Oh, yes. We've got the Fearless Buccaneer Vibroblade, Vibrostaff, Pistol, Assault Cannon, Blaster Rifle, Vibroblade, or no, the Lightsaber and Dual Saber. I'm sorry. They're such great weapons.
I'm going to have this one, but you know what? I'm dying to know more about what's next.
Well, why don't we wait for the next slide and we'll start. Along with 7.6,
is Caitlin dead yet?
Yeah, probably. Along with 7.6, we've got the chrome white and metallic gray die pack. You can see it here applied on this armor set. And along with that, we've got new customizations from.
All right. So first on their banter, I do appreciate, some people get annoyed by it. I do appreciate a group of people that enjoys each other's company, because game dev is stressful. So seeing some of that is kind of cool. I know it can be annoying for some people, but I kind of like it. I also love it when they do this kind of thing, right? We're getting new hairstyles, new character customization things. I'm digging the braided mohawk. That's probably my favorite one so far.
Skeleton crews, so the half long, half short. We've got new customizations from Skeleton crews, so the half long, half short hairstyle with a little streak of varying color on the side, as well as Fred dropping his mic. We have the braid hawk.
It's soon to be called the Fred Hawk, because I am going to wear this all the time.
That's right. Not only these hairstyles, but we also have.
Yeah, the braided mohawk might replace some of my other mohawky looks. Do I have that? Let's see. What do I have on this guy right now? Oh, I can't. Can I hide his head in this view? No, because he's on test center, it messes up all my outfits, so I can't get his helmet off. So
Have the very heavily player recommended or requested long hairstyle. This was the victory loop hairstyle without the attachment in the front. So we noticed that players were asking for this, so we wanted to make this free for players. So with 7.6, this will be ready to go for them.
Yeah, so now
So that's kind of cool. So I'm going to guess those first 3 are going to be in some kind of a purchasable thing. They're usually not bad. Like a couple hundred cartel coins. They're, at least in the past, when they do these upgraded customizations, it's really not too bad. But this is one they already kind of had done. And so they're just giving it, they're just adding to the existing ones. That's kind of cool. Now you'd still have to pay, I believe, cartel coins to change. But it should be available to everybody, which is kind of cool.
Now you too can look like the spring event vendor.
Very heavily requested. Let's see. Now we're going to talk about the Master the Fight bundle, Starbolt Edition.
Nice.
This bundle includes a 180-day subscription time with 600 cartel coins per month.
And 5,500 cartel coins.
A one-time grant of that.
Crazy.
Plus 5 primary and 5 secondary metallic yellow dies per character.
Oh yeah, and you'll get the Vectron 240R Starbolt mount and sleeve.
All right. I'm going to let them continue, but mixed feelings on this one. I just got one of these. That's where I got this speeder, which you're going to see another version of. Right, so this was in the last bundle. And actually, if you're going to subscribe, the bundle's not a bad price. The cost of 6 months of subscription and 5,500 cartel coins is more than the bundle price. So the fact that you get all the other stuff is kind of a cool bonus. The concern / problem I have is if I want this new speeder and this is the only way to get it, and I already have 6 months of game time from the last bundle, am I going to buy this next one? Now, I'll have to look at when the bundle came out. If they space them out essentially 6 months apart, then yeah, it's a no-brainer for me personally to actually just get the bundle, because the bundle itself will be based on, I'm going to buy my subscription time anyway, and so it's not that big of a deal. It's going to cost me, I think it's like $20-30 more over a 6 month period, so like $5 a month. Okay, not a big deal. But I don't necessarily want to be buying these every 3 months. So I'll have to look at the calendar. That's the only air quote issue I would have with this one. I like it. I like these bundles. I think they're actually cool. I've picked up, I think, all of them as they've released them. But it is definitely one of those that if these get too frequent, it could become an issue. So
Yellow. It's got rideable at level 1, comes to speeder rank 5, and it's got a special ability.
It does have a special ability. When you mount up on this, you will get...
All right, so you can see this is... Let me get my... There we go. It's the same mount, right? If we look at the... there's the one that I'm sitting on. There's the new one. The side thing is the same. It's a different color. Probably has the same animations. Probably has the same whatever. What I'm wondering is gives players speed boost. I can't see what that says. Let's see what it says over here. 2 mini pets. There's the gear. So let's get this over to... so there's all the pictures of the gear, the new hairstyle. All right. Does it say? I don't see the details. Oh, here. Rideable at level 1, comes with speeder rank 5, gives players a speed boost while mounted. So let's listen to how they describe this, because it feels like it's going to work different than the red one. The red one when you would first mount up, you get like a 2-second or 3-second speed boost. And it has made a bigger difference than I thought it would, in that, like, if you're running dailies or something like that, where you're getting off your mount, you're doing something, you're getting on your mount, you're going less than like 20, 30 meters, getting off your mount, doing something, get on your mount. That extra speed boost adds up and actually gets you through stuff quicker. So I like the speed boost. So let's listen to how they describe it in this version, because I think it feels to me like it's going to work differently. And I don't know if it does, will that be enough to make me want to get it or not? We'll see.
5, sleek yellow. It's got rideable at level 1. Comes to speeder rank 5, and it's got a special ability.
It does have a special ability. When you mount up on this, you will get a temporary ability bar button on your UI. When you click that button, it will give you a player-controlled speed boost, which means you can play that boost at any time you want to.
So nice. I love that yellow.
Yes, it's very nice.
Okay, so that is different. Now, my question here is, you gave it to me in the I don't have control of it mode. Actually, let's go back here. I don't think anything popped up here, because we're on test center, right? So if they've made a change here, yeah. So there, right there, you saw it right there was the change, or the existing version. Let's run down here. We'll fire it up again. All right, so if I'm going, boom, right there, you can see that was the speed boost that we got. And now that that's gone, now it's a normal speeder, right? Until I dismount. Now, if I dismount and immediately remount, okay, it came back that time. I don't think it came back that time. So there's a delay here, right? There, it's back that time. So let's see if we can get the tooltip to pop up. Speed boost. It's like probably 2 to 3 seconds. So now they're giving us this new one that has a temporary button. Now, 2 questions I have for that. If it is only usable once, like if it pops up as a temporary button and I can press it once and then I have to dismount and remount, it's essentially the same functionality as the red one, except I have more choice, right? If it has a cooldown, like a 10-second cooldown or a 30-second cooldown, so if I'm going a long distance, I can just keep popping it every once in a while. That is cool. That was probably my biggest complaint over this red one, is that speed boost is cool, but it only happens right at the beginning and then it's a normal mount. So I'm going to put this one in I'm going to wait and see, but at least on Test Center, they haven't changed the functionality of the red one. That feels to me like a little bit of, okay, here's the next thing, just trying to get us to buy stuff. The other thing is I do fall into the category of choosing what I do based off of the perks that it gives me. I like the red mount, right? Like, of the two, there's a little bit difference in the paint job, but they are essentially the same, right? This one here it's got the striping on it. There we go. But it kind of comes down and around, whereas this one has kind of a straight line kind of look going. But they are essentially a very similar mount. I like the red one, so will I ride the yellow one if it gives me that next bit of perk? Probably. It'll probably become my new default mount if I have that ability to speed boost whenever I want. So anyway, mixed feelings on this. I love the idea of the bundle. I love everything they're doing. If it coincides with essentially I just pick up another bundle instead of picking up another subscription every time my subscription comes up, I'm all in. I won't even think about it. I would love to see that ability, like this series. So what are they calling it? The Vectron 240R. What's the one that I'm on called? It is the Vectron 240R Firebolt, and this one is the Starbolt, right? So we got a Starbolt and a Firebolt. If they're going to do a series of these, and they're all going to be different colors, consolidating the functionality into a single functionality so I can choose. But I can also see this. The other side of that is like, okay, I'm not going to bother to buy the bundle because I already have a mount that does the thing. So mixed feelings on this one. I think it's sometimes worrisome if things feel like a cash grab, and that is one of the things that players have brought up as, again, when BroadSword took over, is are they just going to milk this game? Again, I think these are good deals. 180 days of subscription time. They actually do list. This is something that I didn't notice. This might be different. Here, let me switch over to this. This 600 cartel coins per month, is that a bundle thing, or are they changing the subscriber reward? Because the subscriber reward, I believe, is 500, and the security key is another 100. So I think I get 600. So will this mean I now get 700 if I buy this bundle? And does that only last during those 180 days from this bundle? So definitely some questions here on how they're going to do that. By and large, though, I like the general concept, but definitely some concerns. I was checking to see if they both have, this little like reflector light is on the red one as well. All right. I don't think you can access the market on Test Center. Yeah. So it says the cartel market is unavailable. So I can't even look at it here to see, if there's anything else in it or not. All right, let's continue.
Taxi. It looks like a taxi.
It does look like a taxi.
Say that.
You can't have anybody else ride on that right now. So wait.
Okay. I've already watched the video. That's some foreshadowing. So I like his reaction. It does make me smile. Because I have seen the rest of the video.
You can't have anybody else ride on that right now. So wait. Anyway, the bundle will be available for purchase on SWTOR.com and Steam on November 15th. It will be available until January 14th, 2025.
And the bundle's priced at $99 USD. That's a lot of Bolt for your buck.
Sure. Before we forget, here are the examples of the primary and secondary.
Let's see. Let's just click into the news here. How far back do we have to go to find the release date of the last one? I think it'll be in here. Greatest Bounty. Master of the Flight Firebolt Edition. June. So it came out July 30th. So if you picked it up immediately, July 30th. So July, August, September, October, November, December, January. And they're saying this one. So not quite 6 months from release to release. So let's see. Yeah, Firebolt Edition now live. The article was 7/30/2024, so January 30th. So that would be July. August, September, October, November, December is 5 months, and you have November to January to buy this. So December would be kind of when you'd be renewing for your next subscription anyway. Because literally, if you bought the subscription July 30th, it'd be August, September, October, November, December. It'd be January 30th when it would come due. So January 14th, maybe a little more grace period on these. But, again, if they do 2 of these a year, I think that is awesome. Because that gives, again, I'm going to be buying my 6-month subscription twice a year anyway. So I'll buy these bundles instead of just doing the subscription. I'm all in on that. If they start to try to creep them up, like, let's try to do them every 4 months and try to get 3 in a year, that feels weird because the 6 months now is they're going to start to stack up and just get a huge long lead time on subscriptions. So, anyway, so yeah, I was looking at which version? There we go. So I was just looking at the news article over here. So, okay. So right now they get a B on this one. I think it could give us some more time, either lengthen those, but again, that also becomes a problem. If you start to lengthen them, then the overlaps get weird. But time them so that they are twice a year, and I'm on board. Because like if they do the next one, so this one ends January 14th. So if they do the next one, so the January to February, March, April, May, June, in July again. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to be doing my update then anyway. So, okay, let's move on.
Yeah, that's a lot of bolt for your buck.
Sure. Before we forget, here are the examples of the primary and secondary metallic yellow dyes.
Love it.
Speaking of dyes, we've got something we'd like to talk about.
Die pack updates.
That's what it
Okay, so this is kind of there's a cool little perk and a teaser for a potential future change here.
says. The die packs in the game, we've had a lot of feedback about how die packs are purchased and stored and applied to the character, and we want to reevaluate that system. And so while we are doing that,
the key there is storage. So if you were with me in last night's stream and I did my character cycling, one of the things that I did is I had some extra die packs in my legacy storage. And so I transferred them over to one of my storage characters because I don't have room for them. And I have like 3 or 4 bank vault pages with die packs in them. So it sounds like they're going to work on this. They don't announce anything here, so no spoilers here. But if they do that with something like this, where, you know, when they added this thing, your materials inventory, and now I can go in here, and I'm on Test Center, so, you know, on my main account, this thing is just full of things. If they did something like this with all of your die packs, and also, and I don't know if they would go this far, if they made it so that once you have a die pack, you can apply it. Like if you get a legacy-wide die pack and it goes into this system, and then I can say, okay, I'm going to dye this armor and I can reuse it or recharge it or something, that could be cool. But even if it was just a die pack storage thing like this, I would love to see them adopt this mentality on pretty much anything that you would want to share across your characters, right? I have legacy gear that I probably have 6 or 7 characters who just store gear of different kinds. Now, some of it is in the collections, right? And again, Test Center, I don't know what I'm going to have available here. So I have an armor section in here, and you know, so like this armor is available to me, right? On my main account, again, we would have stuff in here. If they made it so all armor, regardless of how you got it, went in here, and I could pull a copy of it. So like this HK helmet, I can just pull a copy and it doesn't cost me anything. I'm willing to pay the cartel market cost to unlock it for my account. I would love to see them do that with armor and for weapons and for die packs and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't necessarily have to go into collections because I think there's color crystals in here. I don't think there's die packs in here. So either something like this or something like this where I can actually say, you know what, I've got, or even let's say it was this. Pretend this Ice Scrabbler liver is a die pack and I've got 2 of them. And I can go ahead and pull one out. Well, I don't want to pull both out. Let's see if this will work. Nope. I can split it here, though. So maybe clean up this interface a little bit. But, you know, so I could pull the die pack out or pull a copy of it out. My greedy side would be like, once I get a die pack, like I have a black die pack or a white die pack, now let me use it wherever I want. That would be cool it eliminates a potential income stream for them, though, because those are cartels sold and things like that. So, okay. So let's hear what they have to say on die packs. Like I said, they don't really say about the new system, but they do talk about wanting to update it.
About how die packs are purchased and stored and applied to the character. And we want to reevaluate that system. And so while we are doing that, and before that picture solidifies, we do want to go ahead and make the cartel market sale of 50% off all die packs starting November 14th.
For real?
November 14th. Is that today?
That's today.
1 minute.
These people over here tell me it's now.
1 minute, he said. 1 minute.
Well, okay, well, wait a minute.
Isn't this already long enough?
Okay.
So, put on your conspiracy theory hat here. Are they doing the sale because their plan is to make it so that once you buy one, you'll have unlimited use to it? So they want to get as much sales out before that happens. Or, who knows? But it's always cool. If there's a die pack you've been wanting for a long time and you just didn't want to spend the cartel coins on it, now you can for 50%. And I like the fact that one of their bullet points is for real. Like I said, these two were the most entertaining to me.
November 14th. Is that today?
That's today.
1 minute.
These people over here tell me it's now.
1 minute, he said. 1 minute.
Well, okay, well, wait a minute.
Isn't this already long enough?
Okay, for real. So we are trying to improve how the player experience is around die packs. So that's what our intention is. Until we settle that out, they'll be on 50% off sale.
That's awesome.
So again, I've said this a couple of times. Little things like this, while it might not seem like a big deal, reworking a whole system, like the dyeing system for the armor, is a work, right? That takes some time. And the fact that they are taking something that maybe isn't the best quality of life type of thing and putting some time into it to improve it, I'll give them props for that.
Brad, why don't you take us home?
Well, that would take a while, but anyway, thank you for watching. My name is Brad Lewis. Say goodbye, Fred.
Goodbye, Fred. See y'all later.
All right, so like I said, those two entertained me. I'm going to skip forward here. So they basically play some music and sit on these slides. Here you go. You can see the behind the scenes going on as they switch over, change their mics out, get the next thing set up and stuff like that.
All right, we are back.
Yep.
There's like 30 more minutes, and then you can get that Twitch drop.
Oh, I was like, what are we timing now?
It's 1:30 right now.
Got it.
I want to win my bet.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we talking about now?
Yeah.
Dynamic encounters,
Yeah,
baby.
let's jump into some of the other content coming in 7.6. So dynamic encounters. So
Okay, so if you've watched the last live stream, I don't recall there being much different in this. So we're probably just going to let this play through. Because this is what went up on the test center after the last live stream.
Dynamic encounters is a new content type that's coming in 7.6. And the goal of dynamic encounters is really just to breathe life into the planets that they inhabit. So it's new types of adventures for you to experience all around the planets where they are. So you're going to find them primarily on Hoth and Tatooine. And you'll see examples of them in a second. But so dynamic encounters the main ones are, again, on Hoth and Tatooine. And then there's a separate type called hidden chain invasions. There's special types of dynamic encounters. And they're going to task you with stopping Hedda Cole from being a big old jerk, as she tends to be. That she's trying to gather resources and people and things that she tends to do. And they're going to happen across a variety of places that I will let you discover on your own. But let's give you an example of kind of what dynamic encounters look like kind of in action. So here you can see showing up on both Tatooine and Hoth. So here, again, you can see that there's timers on each of these. So the way that dynamic encounters work is when you're on the planet, you'll see them just kind of popping up organically. They can pop up in the spaceport through a variety of zones. And again, this can be the kind of thing of where you pop up in your spaceport and all of a sudden it'll be like, oh, there's a dynamic encounter that's here. And you'll see an example of these right now. So this is Road Gig.
Add gonk.
Yeah,
Add
so
gonk.
this is the second stage of one. The first part that you could be discovering is where you need to help this band kind of recover their musical instruments. And now the second part is take over a gonk and help them advertise their band. Make sure people come see them in the cantina.
Waddle all over the place.
Yeah.
Gonk.
Yeah.
Gonk.
You take gonk and you go gonk all over the place. Be like, come see my band. Gonk.
I will say though that I did select some player favorites based off of the PTS feedback that we got, and you can carry little tampons up a hill.
Yep.
And they're not puppets this time around.
Right, and so the nice thing with dynamic encounters is there's a large range of what dynamic encounters can encompass. So it can be everything from, these are two non-combat examples. There's also a combat example. We'll show you an example in a second. They can be from fighting a lot of enemies to fighting more boss-style encounters. And again, these are really just meant to show you, again, really just to kind of breathe life into these. So the example here being, you fight some Gamorreans, you get a nice repulsor cannon, and then you whoops-a-doop the Gamorreans into a Sarlacc pit.
Because they're testing these near the Sarlacc pit, I think, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
not a good time. Not a good time. So you got to take care of that.
Yep. And so the question that, of course, will come to your mind is, well, why am I doing these dynamic encounters? I obviously want to earn some rewards. So dynamic encounters will fit into a lot of the existing game systems. So you'll earn, for every dynamic encounter you complete, you'll earn both tech fragments and conquest commendations. This will fit into some of the gearing changes, specifically augments, that Bryant will be talking about in a second. The hidden chain encounter specifically will drop armor pieces, notably hidden chain armor pieces, which we'll show you in a second. And there's also like rare drops, such as a special law.
That's because I forgot to turn my mute back on. So I coughed and forgot to turn it back on. So yeah, all I was saying is they're about to talk about the what you call it, the reward system for the dynamic encounters. So you didn't miss much. It's mostly me talking about that. So all right, let's get back to the video.
Cat, which we will also show you in a second.
My son.
Yeah, and there's more for you to discover as well.
All right, what do
as you
these
go
look
around.
like? Well, this is the hidden chain armor and the electric gaze armor sets that will be dropping in pieces when you complete dynamic encounters.
Yep.
There are also mounts that are.
Don't
I
forget
forgot
Lothcat.
about my baby cappuccino.
How could you forget about your Lothcat?
This is my baby.
Yep.
Well, this is the freckled Lothcat kitten pet.
Yep. And then to Jackie's point, one slide too fast, but there's also some mounts. So this is where I'm talking about that they fit into the other game systems. So there's going to be a whole host of achievements for you to earn. And a good example here being is that the Desert Sand Mount and the Frozen Peaks Mount are actually the rewards that you would earn for completing the Tatooine and Hoth meta achievements, respectively, for dynamic.
So that'll drive me. I will happily do however many they want me to do in order to earn the mounts. I am an achievement-driven gamer, so So I'm going to guess they're going to have something similar to this, right? Where it's like, do this, do this, do this. And then when you get those 3 done, it'll unlock a section. You get all of these done, that section will unlock the mount. Pretty standard, but no problems with that.
Encounters. So if you complete those metas, you would then receive these mounts for completing them. So those are the new meta rewards for those. So again, kind of fits into the whole, all throughout game systems throughout the game as well. So that's dynamic encounters.
Yep. Now, Comlink.
So let's talk about Comlink. So Comlink is a new interactive UI that we're introducing to kind of enhance how players engage with the game, generally speaking, kind of enhance the world. So there's 2 different situations where you could run into Comlink in the game. One would be interfacing with terminals, and the other would be communicating with characters. So let me walk you through both of these examples. So the first one would be terminals. So this is a new way for you to interact with terminals in the world. So let me give you a really specific example, and then we'll show you a 7.6 example. So think about back.
All right, so I don't see anything, like I'm looking through the recap article, and we've got the bundle, we got the die stuff, we've got the dynamic encounters, which they just talked about, the pet, the mounts, that's kind of where we're at. This is the propagator. These are the incentives. We're getting into PvP. Life Day, Mac Launcher. Yeah, I don't see what they're about to talk about, so we'll use just the video feed to talk through this next section. But I don't see that in the recap articles. So.
Back in 7.4, when you had Lane's lab mission, right? You had the mouse droid that you're working through to get HK's core.
Okay, before they go into this one, some prefaces to this. I can see this being a little bit controversial, depending on how they roll it out. One complaint that came out in the last expansion is they have 2 different conversation systems. You have the original, the 3 gold choices, 1, 2, and 3 at the bottom, fully voiced cutscenes, things like that. Then you got the secondary one that they put in later, which is the NPCs tend to have voice, but you as a character don't. But you all get more choices. It could be 1 through 3, could be 1 through 6. So those are kind of our 2. And some people were upset that in the main story arc, not every cutscene was done with the original, everything voice acted. Some were done with the other one. Now, like we talked about a little bit ago when they said they're delaying the story content, there is a chance that could be because of voice actor issues, SAG strikes and stuff like that. It could be that they just don't want to put the money in to do all that. I don't know the answer, but there's a reason for it. You can tell that they have heard that complaint because of the way they explain this is another way to communicate, but it might replace the little holocom thing. I don't know for sure. But it's interesting the way they talk about this as a new interface. So let's see how it goes.
Core, and you interfaced with the terminal there. We used a KOTOR conversation. This would be kind of something that we could use to replace that, right? And so this can be everything from interfacing with terminal.
So when he's talking about the KOTOR conversation, that's the second style. You saw this when we were playing through the Feast of Prosperity stuff as well. When we talked to the huts, again, the hut talks, and then you get the list of choices at the bottom. That's the KOTOR style, I think, that they're talking about.
Case core, and you interfaced with the terminal there. We used a KOTOR conversation. This would be kind of something that we could use to replace that, right? And so this can be everything from interfacing with terminals, droid spiking terminals, or players even turning in event currencies. So the place that we're going to introduce this is the first place that you would see it. In 7.6, there are a handful of dynamic encounters that will leverage Comlink. And so we'll show you an example of what that will look like now.
Okay, let's go ahead and full screen this and kind of do a little bit. I watched the video once through. I didn't spend a lot of time looking at this one. So let's go ahead and let's turn you off, turn me off. Actually, I can stay on. Okay. I don't think I can zoom in on that. Nope. That's why I was hoping they would have put it on the other page, because then we could zoom in on it. So we've got a different interface here. This is different than everything else in the game, right? Like if we go over to the game here, like everything is this kind of bluish, you know, I can't, they just redid this stuff as well, right? Like you've got kind of two styles floating around. You've got this version that's floating around. This is a slightly older version. They're similar, but slightly different. Almost everything we do is like this. The only differences are, I think is it Ziost? Let's jump over to Ziost. I want to compare the Ziost to this one. Okay, so while we're going to Ziost, we'll go ahead and pop this one back up. So you can see that just visually, this is completely different. Functionality-wise, I kind of like what they're doing with it. But from a visual standpoint, it's changing. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean that they are going to go over to more of this style for future interface stuff? Maybe. Okay, so I'm on Ziost now. So here is a, you know, kind of a standard mission terminal thing, right? And then there's one in here, I think, that is the different style. Okay, then there's this style, which you only see this style in a few places. I don't know what the criteria is to get this version, but now that I'm looking at this version, and then I look at this version, I'm seeing some similarities, right? You know, it's not hollow projected. Can I get both of these up at the same time? I don't think so. You know, like this version, even this one, it does have the blue and gold, but that is different than even this interface, right? So we're starting to get some, I don't know where they're going on this. You know, so we've got basically the original interface look like this. You know, green buttons, blue, you know, things highlight, kind of looks hollow-ish. You can see that you can actually, oops, I pulled that off my bar. There we go. Let me lock that. So you can see, you can actually see through the interface. And so it's kind of got that holographic look. Then they did an update, which then gives us this style, which is similar. Again, you can see through you can see through that part a little bit. So an updated version, they relayed out some of these boxes. They even changed the aspect ratio of like the inventory and stuff like that. But I would say keeping in spirit with the original interface. You know, all of this down here is that way. So then, and it's been out for a long time, you know, you had this version of the interface. So this has like a metal look to it. The buttons look different. It's still got a holographic kind of glow. So it looks like a screen now, right? It looks like a physical device. You know, it's got the little knob thing there. You know, it operates like it's a little physical device as opposed to a pop-up menu. You know, where this one is kind of a pop-up menu. Serves the same function. Now, the other thing from my memory is this version will give you a list of different missions that you can do. I don't think I've ever seen this one where it will give a list. It's always just one mission. Okay, so now if we compare this, let me see how close I can get these to line up. That's not too bad. So if we compare this version to this is the new thing. Now, what am I seeing here? I'm still seeing at least a green version, which again, this was a green version compared to our blue interface that we have here. So I've got the physical, I've got the holographic display stuff in green. These look more like physical buttons to me. So if I look at this new interface, let's go ahead and play it. You can see it in action.
First is going like this to let us to remind us to talk over it. But yeah. So, and again, like any other place where there would be decisions that you can make or something like that. So, as it turns.
All right, let's go backwards there a little bit. Okay, so up at the top, we have a much more of a chat style interface, right? Like, the one thing I do like about this is it might actually...
As a terminal, you'll get to choose standard dialogue options that could come up here.
There we go. What I find intriguing about this is I can see my history of the conversation. Now, they talk about this later. They're not changing everything over to this interface, right? This is kind of now you're hopefully replacing the holo calls. So the conversations that would happen in holo calls, if they are not a voice communication, this feels more like it's designed to be text messaging for SWTOR. That's really what it feels like. Now I'm going to lean forward because I've got this on my left monitor here. I want to look closer at this. Okay, so it says we even got like a dungeon master giving us information, right? The screen flickers erratically, displaying jumbled text. Kick the machine was an option. The display resolves into a login prompt. Please enter your Zerka login credentials. Enter Zerka and 1234. Login failure, incorrect username and password. The display resolves into a login prompt. Please enter your Zerka login controls. So it feels like they're building an interface, and this gives them another tool to do things like operate a terminal, or again, maybe text messaging back and forth with a contact or something like that. Aesthetically, though, again, I think there is a lot of similarities in this, and these aren't used in that many places. Right now, at the top of my head, I can only think of 3 or 4. Like there's this one on Ziost, there's another one on Ziost, there's one on Yavin 4 in the far western area. There's a mission you pick up there. I'm trying to think of any others I can think of. There might be one on Rishi. I don't think so. But again, you don't see this interface very often. So I don't think a lot of people are thinking about it. Now, other improvements I'm seeing here, if we compare the two, this looks sleeker. The metal looks a little bit sleeker. This one definitely more glowy as far as the panel and stuff, where this one doesn't have that glow. But you could make the same case of old interface here. This interface much more glowy. The new interface less glowy between the two, just in general. Again, some kind of a knob here or something like that. Are you talking about this one? Or this one? I haven't looked at a Star Wars Galaxies data pad in a long time. Might be a good... Let's see if anything pops up in a Google image search here. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I never even thought about that one. Let's see, data screens. Yeah, I haven't played Galaxies. I haven't played the fan-driven one. I haven't played Galaxies since the live servers went down. That was the last time I've seen anything in Galaxies. So I enjoyed it. I played Galaxies quite a bit, but okay. So let's see. We've got, again...
This is another place that you would be able to make...
Sorry, I clicked on the video. Much more real world, than glowy holographic. There, I see an animation on this little pad. Is that linked to... I'm going to play this again.
Is there a place where there would be decisions that you can make yourself?
So it went there. So that would have been 3690. And entered whatever in San Zerka and 1234. I don't know if those correspond to the choices there, or if they're just randomly playing.
As a terminal, you'll get to choose.
Let's go back, see if we can find 1234. See if it does that one.
Yep. And yeah. Brooks is going like this to let us remind us to talk over it. But yeah. So, and again, like any other place where there would be decisions that you can make or something like
Maybe.
that. So as a terminal, you'll get to choose standard dialogue options that could come up here. This is another place that you would be able to make conversation options. This could also be a place that we can inject dark or light side choices. And again, like I mentioned previously, you would also be able to potentially turn in currencies as well. So we would be able to leverage this.
Yeah, it's always fun to see things coming together. So anyway, I'll be interested to see where this goes. Is this aesthetic something that they are going to work towards, and are they going to get away from, this version of things, right? So we've got, like I said, we've got 3 or 4 different visual aesthetics now. We've got the new version here. We've got the older version like this, because they haven't even gone through and updated all of these interfaces to match this. They really kind of did the character system and the new things they put in the new style, but they haven't gone back and replaced all the others. Or are we going to get this one, which is your blue, not less glowy, more solid lines, with some gold and green? Or, and again, this one's been in the game for a while, but this version, which is similar to what we're looking at here, inspired by, I would say. This one's definitely, the metal looks smoother. The interface itself is a, less busy, like grid here in the background and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm so used to the original interface that this feels a little bit jarring because it's different. But if they started converting everything over to this style, would I like it? I think so. For me, I think this actually feels more immersive than this, right? This is player useful. There's nothing wrong with this interface. Oh, sorry, my head's in the way. There we go. It works, but this feels like interface, whereas this one feels more like I walked up to the terminal and this is the interface for the terminal. So it's a layer deeper into the game. I always think of UI. UI is a barrier to the player experience. The player experience is, I want to sit here and I want to be in the Star Wars universe. That's what I'm going for from an immersive escapism type of thing. Anything that you do to block me from that experience is a barrier. Interface, by its very nature, is a barrier to the experience. So our goal as developers is to always make sure that we can lower that barrier as much as you can. Is this a barrier? Like if I want to put that helmet on, right? Is it so many windows here. Is it a barrier for me to drag this little icon on top of this little icon in this look of an interface? No, probably not. Especially once you've played for a while, you just learn to ignore it or deal with it, right? But if I'm full on mentality, I'm in a role play mindset, and I walk up to a terminal and I get this interface, do I buy into it more? Do I suspend my disbelief that little bit more that says, oh yeah, this is what I would be typing on if I was standing there as a character in this universe? Potentially. The thing is, though, that if you're only going to do this on 1 or 2 things, that is jarring, right? It's different. So the fact that it's different might be the thing that pulls you out of immersion. So those are my thoughts. I like it. If they start converting all the interfaces over to this kind of a style of thing, I would be actually happy. I would love to see like this if I had this inventory interface, but instead of just being this glowy window that I can move wherever I want, if this was actually somehow linked to like the Fallout Pip-Boy or something like that, where it's a piece of hardware that my character is carrying around, whether it's a wrist-mounted thing, or even if his little arm came across the bottom here and this holo projected up from his wrist. I like that kind of stuff from an immersion standpoint. So yeah, there's nothing about this that I'm like, ooh, that's bad. Okay, let's see what else they say about this.
In a variety of places throughout the game.
I could also see, you've got like, this looks like the little port that the R2 units use. You've got something here. It's just a little speech bubble and a light. I don't think there's any detail there. The number pad looks like they're Arabish numbers, which is fine. I do like the fact that you can scroll through your conversation. That functionality alone. Yeah. The other conversations, like if you have a conversation, let me bring this back up. You can actually put that up here if you want to see it. So you can go back through your conversations. As a matter of fact, you can actually create a new tab. And I do this sometimes. I'll just create a conversation tab up here. And then I will go in here and I will change my chat settings. And I'll just turn off basically everything. Turn all that off, all that off. Hopefully the game doesn't make me a liar because this used to exist. There we go. And I'll turn conversations on. And so now I've got a tab up here that will only show my conversations. That way, if I want to scroll back through the conversation and see some choice or something like that. But this one, like I said, this one definitely feels like it's all kind of built into the interface. So I'm digging it. Yeah, and again, the first time I just watched the video, I didn't pause. I didn't look at any of these details, so, but yeah, could that spin around, right? A little bit of animation here. I'm seeing some lighting up here at the top that looks like it's blinking
and again,
on and off.
This is an example of one of the dynamics leverage this. Again,
Maybe
like
not.
I mentioned
No,
previously,
I don't think so. So there's something going on here at the top. Again, even like the little wires and stuff like that, all these little bits and bobs could potentially do something. So anyway, I'm kind of digging it.
To be able to potentially turn in currencies as well. So we would be able to leverage this in a variety of places throughout the game. And again, this is an example of one of the dynamic encounters that you'll experience in 7.6.
Yeah.
You can tell it's work in progress, though, because the answers are like select 1, select 3. That's not final content or anything. But yeah, I could see this replacing anytime you're interacting, not necessarily with another character, but with a device. Yeah, I'm for this. And again, they might actually add some more stuff to it.
UI did an amazing job with this.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Oh, did I just see?
That's 6.
Okay, I'm going to play this again. Hold on.
Yeah, UI did an amazing.
I have been begging for this in conversations since this game first launched. So, one of my frustrations is as somebody who really likes to explore conversation trees. Like I'll go through and try different versions and I'll listen to it. Every once in a while, you'll get to the end of the conversation and the conversation will end and a mission will complete, or if you want to reset the mission, you could. There's no safety mechanism at the end of a conversation to tell you, the player, this conversation is over. If you continue, you are finalizing your steps, right? Like I will go through and I'll hit escape and I'll try out the different conversations. What I'm seeing here is a button that does what I have hoped for in conversations for so long, because it's like, okay, you are done with everything. Now, I don't know how this one works. This might be you don't have a choice to end transmission, but if this is built so that I can escape out of this interface, right, and do it again until I hit that end transmission button, I will be so happy. That is something that I have hoped for as a conversation explorer. Now, I've always resigned myself that probably the majority of the player base doesn't do that. And that's a feature they would never add because it's just most people don't care. So I never was like, oh man, that's going to happen. But if that is true, if that's what this is, holy cow, that is awesome for me personally. You might not care, but for me personally.
Yep.
fantastic job.
Yep.
It looks beautiful.
Yep. So let's talk about the second example, character conversations. So think of currently there's holo calls in the games, which the joke that I would make would be, imagine you're getting a voice call. So that would be where a holo call, you get the little pop-up, you click it, you receive a holo call, and you have a voice conversation, right? This is the other example, which is someone's blowing up your phone with some text messages. That's kind of what comlink would be. Think of it like having a in Star Wars text message conversation with someone. So comlink will give us a way using a similar UI. The UI looks different than the one you just saw, but it would give us a way that you can have a text message style conversation with a character.
Yeah, don't leave Lana on read, by the way.
Right.
Be nice.
And so it would be all the same things I just talked about. So you'd be able to make dialogue conversations and all of those things. So again, one thing I do want to point out, I put on a bullet here, but I will make it very crystal clear.
Okay, so this is a disclaimer they're about to do because, like I said, the player base, there was a good portion of the player base, or at least a vocal version of the player base, that were very upset that the new conversations in the last story arc were not 100% voice acted. Some of them used the NPC was voice acted and you just chose things. So this is them trying to get ahead of that, I believe, and calm that down before people start just exploding about it. So that's what I think this is.
No way is this meant to replace cinematics or voice content in any way. We're looking at this as a value add. This gives us a new way for us to offer more narrative context or content in ways that we may not be able to previously, right? Because we go, oh man, we have this mission or we have this, secondary side quest or something, and we want to try to do is be able to add more context or add more flavor to it. This would be a way that we could offer another conversation path or add another terminal that you can interact with. We can add additional, information there. I'll give you an example, right? Like,
before he does the example, this will all be the perception of the player base. Will the player base see this as value add, or will they see it as you are cheating me out of what would be conversation? So it is up to the developers to decide how they use this. But for things like interacting with a terminal, or things like I'm updating your mission objectives, so it's sent as kind of a text message, I think it could be a nice tool for them to add to give some depth to some of the missions. I would prefer that over the go do this mission, go all the way back to the starting location, talk to the person, go back out into the field, do the next part of the mission, go all the way back to the starting location, talk to the NPC again. Like that back and forth for some mission types gets a little annoying. I would much prefer to have a multi-stage mission where I talk to the NPC, I do the normal conversations like we would, and then the NPCs, she says something like, good luck, let me know when you reach X destination, and I'm going to do this research. And you reach X destination, and your little text messaging data pad pops up, and it says, I found X, right? And that's how I would run you would think you would want to run. It's not always just a phone call. It's just like update my mission objectives or update that. I think if used correctly, this could be really cool. I can definitely see it maybe getting abused and or feeling like they're taking content away from us. So it'll be interesting to see how the player base reacts to this. I'm very glass half full right now on this. I think it actually could be really, really cool.
Like the remote trading outpost mission, as an example, you're going to see comlink in there as a way that there's going to be maybe some information about Dianogas there that you might run into. So there's actually one of these character conversation comlink missions is the intro mission for the layer boss in 7.6.
I kind of think of it as comlink is the MSG of narrative features. Flavor. You're welcome. Now the layer boss. Propagator Core XR53.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Propagator Core XR53. So this is the new layer boss coming in 7.6. So it originated from one of the many broken pieces when the Emperor's Fortress crashed onto Ilum, as kind of one of the things that Ashley and Caitlin alluded to as well. Reminder that this is when oh my god, the name of the flashpoint just completely ran out of my head. Thank you, False Emperor. The False Emperor flashpoint is where the Emperor's Fortress was, and that had a tragic ending if you played classic SWTOR. So it's crashed down. So this XR53 layer boss itself is a Rakatan droid replicator. What it does is it replicates itself to create new droids. But when it crashed, its core functions got a little disrupted. And so it may not be doing exactly as it's anticipated to. And so it's trying to fix itself by harvesting resources in maybe an unanticipated way, you know? And so
I mean, when you try out the boss in story and veteran modes in 7.6, there's going to be 8 additional resources that it can potentially harvest from.
yeah.
They talk a little bit about this in the next section. Mixed feelings about it when they talk about new augments. We'll see how that goes. As a solo player, it really doesn't make that big of a difference, but it is something that you get this creep sometimes in resources, and then they have to rein it back in. I have not done the lair bosses yet on the test server, so I'm going to try to get myself into some groups and try it out, and I'll report back if I do. If not, it might be something I have to wait till live to do.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, wink, wink. So you'll figure that out when you go through the mechanics. We'll let you discover that for yourself as you play through it. So this is some of the beautiful, the area that the team built on Elm is it's gorgeous. It's amazing, and I think really does a good job of setting the tone of the overall boss encounter. There are some nice big white letters on here that call out art not final, and I think it should be pretty clear from the model that's there, but this is an untextured version of the model, but just to be very crystal clear, that is not the full model that you're looking at right now.
Keener eyes will see my corpse in that green puddle.
Yeah. Is that one of the resources we mentioned earlier?
Yeah, gotta get your protein.
Thank you. I don't know if you can see Brooks's mouse cursor highlighting it for you, but thank you for the nice rounded circle.
She's fine. She's just taking a nap.
Yep. Yeah, so that's the Propagator XR53 layer boss. As Jackie called out, available in story and veteran mode. And so with the layer boss, one of the things that we always want to do when we introduce new end game group content, it gives us a new opportunity to introduce or make adjustments to end game gearing. And so what we're going to be doing in 7.6 is introducing a new set of augments along with making some adjustments to existing augments. And so Bryant Wood is going to talk you through some of those changes that are planned right now.
Yeah, it's a pre-recorded video, just as an FYI.
Yep.
Hey SWTOR community, good to see you again. I'm Bryant Wood, systems designer on Star Wars The Old Republic.
All right, I don't see any of this part. Companion, no. Yeah, I don't see any of this part on the on this page, right? So this appears to be just the video feed, so I think they say, though, he's going to put a post up probably tomorrow with all the details of this, because there's some complexity here. So we'll listen to it, comment on it, but probably wait for the post for clarity.
And today I want to bring you through some of the new augments coming to SWTOR in patch 7.6.
So in 7.6, we're going to be adding 3 tiers of augments to the game.
Yeah, maybe some renovation. Trying to get things put in place. When the game launched, I was always under the opinion it was a game that would be impossible to continue doing what the original game was. 8 separate stories across all the classes, fully voice acted and things like that. So I could definitely agree with you there, where they're trying to put in ways to streamline content creation. My feeling on it is this: would I prefer, I'm just going to ask myself a question, would I prefer the old way, but I only get new story updates once a year, or using some of these new tools and these new styles and I get a quarterly or even monthly story update? I think I'd take the latter. The voice acting is pretty cool. It was, at the time it came out, it was a scary amount. It was also scary expensive. The amount of money they put into the original game was very, very big. Yeah, well, and arguably to me, some of the best cinematic stuff is the Eternal Throne and Fallen Empire. I don't know if we'll ever get those kind of expansions again or not. I agree with you, though, in the way things are coming out right now. We talked about this kind of at the beginning of it, is the current story that's going on, I've enjoyed it. It's just been so slow in coming out that it's like, okay, I do it, and then, it's a couple hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, depends how many times you play through it, and then it's over and we move on. The full on cinematic, it was a juggernaut. I don't disagree with you. What will we get next? These dot expansions, we tend not to get that. But I think for me, the telling point is going to be if and when whatever the 8.0 version of Star Wars The Old Republic is, what they do with that. Like if it's a full-on expansion at the level of like Eternal Throne or Fallen Empire, or even the Revan story arcs on Rishi and Yavin 4 and stuff like that. If we get that again, I'll hold higher hopes. If 8.0 turns into just another of what 7's been with these like little chunks of coming out, I don't know. Like, as much as I love this game, I'll admit if another Star Wars MMO came out, it would lure me away. Depending, I mean, if it sucked, obviously no, but I think I would potentially move on. I did eventually move on from Star Wars Galaxies before it completely went under. I played Galaxies, I think, for 5 or 6 years. I went over to Lord of the Rings Online for a while. I came back to it before it ended, but I'd be tempted. I mentioned this in last night's stream. I'm allowed to say I'm in the Stars Reach Alpha. I'm not allowed to stream it yet, but I'm allowed to talk about my experiences. Right now, my experiences, I haven't played it yet, so there's not much to talk about. But again, getting into something like that even could potentially lure me away. So yeah, I think you're making a great point. This game, if they put the investment into, even if it's not 8 different stories, that's a lot. But the way they did the Fallen Empire and Eternal Throne, that's some of the best cinematics in the game, in my opinion. Those things are just freaking amazing. Even better than the original game. Less content, but better. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I would love to see that. Realistically, I just don't know. I just don't know if the money's there to do that or not. We'll see.
The first is Augment 83 at item rating 296. Second, Augment...
All right, I don't know. I'm going to let this play, actually, while I jump over to Zach's, because I think I have augments in Zach's. So we'll see what I have.
At item rating 302. And lastly, Advanced Augment 86 at item rating 310. Now, we're going to be using all of the crew skills in order to craft these new augments.
All right, I need to remember those numbers. 83, 86, 296 to 310. Okay.
And lastly, Advanced Augment 86 at item rating 310. Now, we're going to be using all of the crew skills in order to craft these new augments. The augments themselves will be crafted by Armor Mech, Arms Tech, and Synth Weaving, but you'll need components coming from Artifice, Biochem, and Cybertech. As hinted, you're going to need materials coming from the new lair boss in order to craft these augments. Now let's take a look at how to craft them. To craft Augment 83...
All right, so I'm over on Zach's. I have Augment 74 at 286. So
you'll
that's
need crew skill.
That's the best I have. And they're purple. And they're not the best in the game right now. So I don't have the absolute best. Because again, I don't run high-end raid content. So I will admit to that. What I'm looking at here, let me pop this up to full screen so you guys can see it. I don't remember this being in it. So this is the augment on my gloves, right? It's a Augment 74 286. I went to remove this. I can't be previewed. And it popped up. requires 75. Because this previous modification was not removed. Okay, so this interface may have always been here, and I'll check it on live later. These are probably augments that are in my box, my cargo, or whatever. Anyway, but that's what I'm running right now. They are Mark 11, but they are not the best in the game. So I'm at 74, 286, and they're talking about 83, 296, 302, and 310. So definitely taking a jump up. I don't remember, and I doubt here on Test Center anybody is selling augments, but we'll see. Yeah. Nothing even comes up on the search. And I don't think I have... My inventory so messed up on test here. Because I can't even buy cargo bays and stuff. It's a Test Center thing. So okay. So definitely a jump up. Now there's some requirements that they're going to talk about here. So let's kind of go through that.
Advanced Augment 86 at item rating 310. Now we're going to be using all of the crew skills in order to craft these new augments. The augments themselves will be crafted by Armor Mech, Arms Tech, and Synth Weaving, but you'll need components coming from Artifice, Biochem, and Cybertech. As hinted, you're going to need materials coming from the new lair boss in order to craft these augments. Now let's take a look at how to craft them. To craft Augment 83, you'll need crew skill combined components, processed isotope stabilizers, and solid resource matrices. Now these augments don't require you to kill the lair boss in order to craft. These are meant to be an introduction for players who don't currently have augments and find the current offerings a little too difficult to obtain.
All right, so there's promise here. Process isotope stabilizers and resource matrices. From my memory, I've got a lifetime of those stored up that I just never bothered to use. So this looks to be pretty low level things. So I could potentially craft out my own new set of augments. Guilds will have no problem with this. If you do guild runs on some of these resources, they have tons. The guild crafters will be fine. So I do like that. I do like that they're like, okay, we're doing a new set of augments. The low level, and they do this with a lot of their gear, the low level is made for just like, you know what? You don't have to be a crazy hardcore killing the hardest content to get the materials and stuff like that. So cool so far.
Along with this, as noted at the bottom, we will be making sure that processed isotope stabilizers and solid resource matrices can be obtained for Java scrap on the fleet ships.
So if you go to last night's stream, I popped open my storage for my Java scrap. I have almost one cargo bay completely full of green, and each one of those stacks is 9,999. I've got 4 or 5 rows of blues, and 1 row of purple. So I think I could personally do this without much issue.
Let's take a look at the more advanced augments now. To craft Augment 86 and Advanced Augment 86, you'll need crew skill components as well, Cybertech crafted materials, the CM1337, and 2 new materials, Purified Bioessence, which comes from Biochem, and Overclock Biostabilizers, which come from Artifice. These new materials will require the Corrupted Bioprocessor, which comes from Propagator Core XR53.
All right, so in general, as a system, I get a little frustrated where the only way to do this new thing is to farm the new content, right? Like getting these components. Now, they do mention here in a little bit that I think these are not global components. Every person gets their own drops, so that is beneficial. And we will assume, I think they mentioned it's all like sellable on the GTN. So as a player who doesn't care about this stuff, it might be a good way to make money by selling these things, because at first that stuff is going to sell for huge amounts of credits as all of the super hardcore players try to get their new augments. But I don't personally care for, okay, here is a brand new augment, and the only way to get to it is through this one new boss that you're going to have to farm over and over and over again, right? It would have been nice to maybe make it a little bit more generic and put it on... is the Mountain Queen the only other lair boss? Lair boss? Might be. But, put it on other places. Make it... Not that it's soloable. I have no problem with them putting the best stuff on high-end group content. I think that's fine. But just here, and this is the only way to do it, although it does make me want to get into a group and farm this stuff and just sell it, because at first it's going to sell for stupid amounts of credits, and then eventually that will drop down, and then you can make your own after that. But
to obtain the schematics for these augments and their materials, you'll be killing our new lair boss. On story mode, the lair boss will have a chance to drop schematics for Augment 83 and a low amount of corrupted bioprocessor. On veteran mode, there will be a chance to drop the schematic for Augment 86 and a high amount of corrupted bioprocessor. If you want to upgrade yourself to the advanced Augment 86, you'll have to go through Cruise Grill deconstruction and deconstruct your Augment 86 to potentially learn the schematic. Next,
that's all pretty standard in crafting. I don't know how much they do that. I don't craft a ton. It used to be, though, if you wanted the blues and purples, you would build the green version, and if you deconstructed the green version, there would be a percentage chance that you would get the schematic for the blue. You would build the blue item, deconstruct it, and there would be a percentage chance you get the purple. I don't think that's changed a whole lot.
I wanted to clear up a little confusion that I've seen coming out from PTS when we had story mode released. All of the schematics that drop are going to be completely tradable. You can learn them yourself, you can give them to guild members, or you can put them up on the GTN.
Those will be cheap pretty early on, because once you learn the schematic, you don't need it again. So at first, people will want to go for those, but eventually they'll be easy to get off the GTN.
All drops are going to be personal loot. Every player who defeats the lair boss will have their own equal chance to obtain the materials and the schematics.
I don't like the phrasing of that. Their own equal chance. What that says to me is it's not a 100% drop. It says that there is a randomness to whether you're going to get it or not. I don't know. You can decide which way you like that, but if you kill the boss and just have bad luck and don't get, or is it a variable amount, that can be frustrating as a player.
No fighting over anything this time. CM 1337 will become easier to obtain. The details will come later, but I wanted to let the community know that it won't be as costly as it currently is on live. And lastly,
I don't craft enough to even know that is a problem. So but if they're going to make that a big part of this, recognizing that they need to make that more available is probably a good move.
Veteran mode will drop way more corrupted bioprocessor than story mode. The real intent here is that players who are trying to earn the advanced Augment 86s will be going through veteran mode, even though it's still possible to eventually get there through story mode. In summary, how do you get the new augments? Kill the new lair boss, collect your loot, and craft away. And with that, I'll pass it back to Jackie and the team.
Doesn't sound like it's going to be horrible. We'll see how much they start to sell for. But again, this feels like a system that, as long as those processors, does it say if the processors are... So the question will be, are the corrupted processors something that you can trade or not, right? Is it a, if we go back into our inventory here, are the corrupted processors something that would go into something like this to where I could grab my stack of corrupted processors, so these are slicing components. And, if it's a resource like this, and now I can throw it up here, again, nobody's selling it on the test center, but, and buy these, eventually there's just, this currency will be worth a lot early and it will just drop later on. That'd be my biggest question on that.
Still possible to eventually get there through story mode. In summary, how do you get the new away? And with that, I'll pass it back to Jackie and the team. Thank you, everyone.
Was that
I
the
think
cue for
Brooks
us?
is pointing at us.
Brooks is just pointing.
Okay, I just have to say real quick that it seems like Brad and Fred, they now have a pairing name, like team pairing name.
Yeah.
Brad, y'all are amazing.
Yeah. But also,
that's so good.
We also have to point out that they've also just been handing you objects.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're
I'm the XR53 right now. I'm just harvesting resources. What do you mean, sir?
I had to point out for those who have watched previous streams that I hope that this is being given to Jackie so she doesn't just throw a fan at me mid.
That's a strong word.
It was a strong word. So dynamic encounters in XR53 have already been on the PTS for a few weeks. For those of you that have been testing it, thank you very much. It's been very super appreciated. All other the stuff that we're talking about today, from here to before now and from here to the rest of the stream, is going to be available on PTS. Ideally tomorrow, we're going to be standing up PTS as our current plan. Pretend there's an asterisk here. I just didn't put one because game development is difficult sometimes, but for all intents and purposes, as far as we can tell right now, we should be standing up PTS tomorrow. So keep your eyes out for that. I mean, again, everything except for the Galactic Threads.
So PTS is live right now. I'm on PTS right now. I'm going to jump over to Ilum and see if we can find that interface for, I think they said the new lair boss uses that interface. So I'll see if I can find it.
Story, because again, we never put story on PTS, will be available for testing then. And we want you to earn some sweet stuff for helping us. There's a lot. And so, do you want to talk through what these are?
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to be pointing.
I'm going to lean this way.
So in order to get the first of many.
All right, so those I've already pulled up here. So they're about to talk through essentially this section here. These are older ones. I think I did these, so I can't remember. They reset these all the time. So those are the ones we did over the weekend. So if you want to see the dynamic encounters, we went through all of those. And then these are the two they're about to talk to about. So these are the ones that they're looking at right now.
Any title, you have to defeat the Propagator Core XR53. Say that 3 times fast on story mode.
Not going to.
Get first among veterans. That particular title, defeat XR53 on veteran mode.
Yep. And then this whole bucket is basically just go play a whole lot of dynamic encounters, okay? Do it on a Republic character, do it on an Imperial character, and do it on both planets, on Hoth and Tatooine.
Oh, we got that one.
Yep, and oh yeah, I messed that up tragically in rehearsals. And what you will earn is the previous Cutting Edge title, previous Strike Team Hero title, and both of the previous Kaizyken mounts, which is both the
Okay, I just got a voice thing, so we'll talk about that in a second. So they've got all this stuff listed up here on the recap page. So if you're trying to get some of this stuff and you can't remember what it is there. Also, again, if you go into the section that you're looking for, is under... let's see if I can find it. It took me a while to find it. It's under events, I think. Yep, under events, general game updates. You can track these to get progress. Oh, excuse me. So all the stuff they're talking about, and if you did it before on the earlier test center, it still transfers over. So that's that information right there.
Hololog and the hilarious slow.
Oh, let's go back to what I was just saying here. So I got a thing that said, "You mind helping me with a little favor? It's on your way," from Jonas Balker. I don't know if that is a Herald quest to get us into the lair boss. Actually, let me turn the game sound on so you guys can hear it here. Let's do a little exploration here, then we'll go back to the video. I don't think it's going to be here. See, like this interface, the mail interface, change this over to that new interface as well, right? You're interacting with the mail terminal. That makes perfect sense. That's just the heroic. So it was just a voice thing. It didn't give me a mission or anything. At least make sure. Let me make sure I don't have my... Yeah, it's not on. I have no idea where the lair boss is supposed to be. Okay, I'm going to let the video run a little bit more, and then I will do some... trying to find out where this stuff is at.
Moving log, which is the best mount we've made, in my humble opinion, the dumb best mount we've ever made. I love it. No, you don't agree, Brad? No.
Brad says sure.
Brad says sure. But really,
If you do all of that,
cream of the crop. All of the, I should specify, all of the dynamic encounter achievements.
right.
You do not need to do any of the lair boss achievements, but if you do all of the dynamic encounter achievements, you will earn the beautiful B1SAL mini pet, along with a whole host of other previously available PTS titles. B1SAL, inspired by our friend from Andor.
Yeah, look at our baby.
Yep. So,
Sweet boy.
if you wanted to earn a bunch of the old previously available PTS and testing incentives, they're all available for you. If you already have a bunch of them, well, good news.
Yeah, it feels like I think that is the plan. I was talking about it a little bit earlier. It's interesting because the new story content is, well, what was that? Scanning. Okay, that's something different. The new story content was, again, delayed, but it was supposed to come out on Hoth and Tatooine as well. So it feels like they're just focusing there. The normal dynamic encounters are only on Hoth and Tatooine. But what I would foresee is, you know, each expansion or each whatever, they will spread them out. There is a different dynamic encounter that is the head of coal, like fighty ones. Those can actually show up, at least from my understanding, on all the planets. So, you know, if you pop up your map here, you know, you've got Hoth right now has the dynamic encounters going on. And if you look, there's actually a special symbol right here, the hidden chain invasion. That one there in 7 minutes, we'll keep an eye on this. You'll notice that the Hoth has a different symbol than Tatooine. Tatooine doesn't have that hidden chain invasion. It's my understanding, and this may or may not be right, but that hidden chain invasion can actually be on other planets. It's not linked, but that's the only one that I'm aware of. So, I'm sorry, that was in the little window. Hopefully you could see it well enough.
Do the dynamic encounter achievements, and you can earn the new B1SAL mini pet.
Yeah. I'll also want to say, too, that all of these will be available at 7.6 launch.
Correct. Yeah.
So they're not going to...
I'm going to jump up to Fleet on the game right now and see if I can find a leader quest for this lair boss.
Immediately
magically appear. Correct. Yeah, you'll earn all of them when 7.6 launches. Yep. I'm waiting for KTL. When is that? But he'll don't worry. He'll do that when he sits right here. He'll do that a bunch. Don't worry. I have faith.
Yeah, I'm reading through the overview. It says hidden chain invasions are special dynamic encounters where players are tasked with stopping Hedekol's forces as they continue to wreak havoc on the galaxy. These encounters can take place on Hoth and Tatooine, but can also be found on several other planets. So that's the only one that I think will be on all the planets from the start.
PvP Season 7. The theme is Path to Mastery. It's going to kick off with 7.6 launch, and as per standard, it's going to run for 16 weeks.
Yep, we have to clarify that because in previous seasons.
Yeah, we had
like
extended.
1 through 5,
Starting with season 6, we had extended the length a little bit. Before we get into the specifics, though, we actually have a couple of changes coming, starting with season 7. So first off, let's talk about pre-mades. So we wanted to start addressing some of the, I can't see chat right now, but I bet even as soon as I said the words PvP, probably someone in chat said pre-mades. So I'm going to channel that. So one of the things we want to work towards addressing a little bit of that is players can no longer group for war zones in groups above 4. So that's the maximum group size that you can group going into war zones starting in 7.6. And that's down from 8. And that obviously doesn't stop entire groups from queuing, because that's important. We do want people to be able to group when they're going into war zones, but it does stop things like 5, 6, 7, 8 stacks from going in to war zones. The second thing,
I don't PvP enough anymore to know if this is an issue. I can understand why they're doing it. I don't know that I 100% agree. What they're trying to stop, I think, is groups of 8, guild groups of 8 just going in and face rolling pickup people, right? Like if you solo queue and your luck isn't good, you're just gonna get handed to you, right? It is bad. And it's like when I used to PvP with people I knew, we weren't never like top tier or anything, but at least we all played well enough that win or lose, it would be fun. Towards the end, when I was just kind of PvPing by myself, it was just luck of the draw. Like you come in sometimes and have a competent team and it'd be fun. Other times you could tell there was a group of people who were just like well organized working together. So it feels like they're trying to clear that out a little bit. Yeah, I can understand your gear point. Honestly, that's why I don't PvP. I think 2 seasons ago was the last time. Like, I PvP'd only to get the seasonal rewards, and then I would stop. The other thing that stopped me is, this happened a long time ago. Once I hit Valor 100 on a character, then I was kind of like, cool. I got the achievement. I'm good. So, yeah. So my opinions on the PvP are kind of in the, okay, it feels like they're trying to fix problems. I don't personally PvP enough to know if those are the right fixes or not, but I can see the logic behind it, right? You know, now it doesn't mean that both of those groups of 4, but that would have been a group of 8, now queue at the same time and still won't be on the same team. That can still happen, but they could actually be on opposite teams, which would even things out a little bit. So, okay, let's talk. This next thing they talk about actually might help you because it's a gear thing that they are taking away from. I think it's only PvP under level 80. At level 80, it wouldn't make a difference.
Thing is set bonuses. Level 75 set bonuses, so the ones that came in from Spoils of War, so in Onslaught, will no longer work in PvP. And so this might sound like a strange change, but let me explain why we're doing it. So this is kind of meant to target 2 things. This is either new players that are jumping into PvP under level 80, or a common place where players come back into the game is also under level 80, so that kind of PvP bracket that's under level 80. And what happens is, there's enough people that are parked in that PvP bracket that have kind of twinked themselves by having really good gear and those level 75 set bonuses that are simply just way too powerful. Those level 75 set bonuses give you a lot of power in PvP, and so one of the ways that we want to address that is by removing those set bonuses and not letting them work in PvP anymore. And so this is to kind of address one of the things that we've heard a bit of feedback in from that we've gathered of just trying to stop that onboarding of a new player goes into PvP and they just get decimated through some of that power benefit that happens from those set bonuses. So they'll be disabled going forward starting in 7.6. Yep. Again, they'll still work in PvE, they'll still be fine, they just will not work in PvP.
All right. Talk about some of these rewards that you're going to be getting.
Yeah.
There's going to be new armors. There's going to be new decorations, a new emote, Honorable Vow. to my dismay, is not a literal pork bun, but it is a very respectful gesture that you can make towards other players or in the middle of nowhere. I don't know. Do whatever. I'm not your boss. It's okay. There's a legacy title. Wait, go back. I threw him off with the Chashu bow. There's a legacy title called Pathfinder, and then also your character name, Master of Paths, and the meta achievement title is called Seeker.
Yep.
Let's take a look at these armors. You got the Plume Scout armor, Plume Trapper.
Those are on the reward track itself.
Yes, I love that. The one on the right. Oh, it's beautiful. I love purple. It's the best color. You have Feathered Ranger, Feathered Huntmaster as well.
And those are the ones from the vendor specifically. Yep.
And then we have the Honorable Bow.
Yep.
It's very respectful.
Yep. As pointed out, not a bun.
Not a bun.
Yep.
And here are the Battler Trophy, small and large trophy decorations as well. You can't really see the character, but there's a player character for scale.
Yep.
Because that trophy's huge.
It's real big.
It's gargantuan.
Yep.
But okay, so that's it for our PvP. Try that. Take two. That's it for PvP.
There you go. So
I got there.
On to the holiday season. Winter. I don't.
All right, so no major things, I think, in PvP. The armor looks kind of cool. Probably not enough to get me to... I mean, I like it, but am I going to go through a whole PvP season playing through PvP just to get that armor? Probably not. So, yeah. It's not a surprise. They're doing PvP, number 7, so... Okay, I think I found it.
Their Huntmaster
as
well.
And those are the ones from the vendor specifically. Yep.
And then we have the Honorable Bow.
Yep.
It's very respectful.
Yeah. As pointed out, not a bun.
Not a bun.
Yep.
And here are the Battler Trophy, small and large trophy decorations as well. You can't really see the character, but there's a player character for scale.
Yep.
Because that trophy's huge.
It's real big.
It's gargantuan.
Yep.
But okay, so that's it for our PvP. Try that. Take two. That's it for PvP.
There you go. So
I got there.
On to the holiday season. Winter.
All right, before we talk Life Day, so I walked right by this. So this is the normal entrance to the Republic base. They've opened up a whole new section here. This wasn't here before. So this is I don't know how I didn't see it, but this appears to be the lair boss here. So we've got a vendor for maybe. There we go, test center. So we've got a vendor for legendary items and tacticals. They only cost 1 credit right now. I don't think that will be the way it works. So you see this on test center sometimes where they're like, you know what? We just want to give you everything you need to try this out. So gear yourself up. So that's probably what that is. Same thing here. Yep. This is a vendor that is selling purple 340 gear for a credit apiece. So these vendors will not be here on live. These are here just to let you gear up a character so you can do the content. Stims vendor, specialty goods. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. Companion customization. That looks to be just yeah, that's just access to there. So what am I not seeing? All right, I'm going to take this away so it doesn't confuse us. So again, I'm going to assume this is it. You must be in an ops group, yeah. I'm aware. But where do I get the mission? That's what I'm trying to find out. All right, well, since this is in the base, messenger droid? Nope. I don't see a terminal. I also don't see any mission icons in here. Those are just the heroic. Let's make sure it shouldn't be under... yeah, we have exploration missions on. All right, let's see. What do we have? Jam the transmissions. I think that's just... yeah, I don't think that's it. What are you? Yeah, these are just the normal Ilum quests here. I can't imagine they'd make us go down here to get it. And the story mode should be on test. They did mention that they're doing an update, I think, for tomorrow. So maybe it's not here. Let's see. These should be the flashpoints. Yeah, that's a flashpoint. That's a flashpoint. I thought the story mode was already up on Test Center, which means it should be here. Let's see. I pulled up a... yeah, they're getting feedback. Let's make sure we get off the elevator here. All right, let's see. We're still waiting to test on tester. We do know the piece of... okay, this is October 10th. October 24th, yeah. Okay, I think that's just an article, but it's not... it's fine, it's fine. Okay, I don't see anything there. Improvements. All right, let's see what this says. Propagator Core XR53 Layer Boss Story Mode is now available on PTS. Important notes, players can either fly to Ilum or walk through the phase door or use Group Activity Finder. This will be the only encounter listed in that window. Okay, let's try that. Group Activity Finder. Oh, it's probably group. There we go. Will it be under operations? Wouldn't be under uprisings or flashpoints. I thought it used to give you a way to choose the ones that you want, but I don't see that. Let's see if it's in here. What's he called? What's his name? Core XR. These are just operations, I think. Explosive conflict. Yeah, because it's not an operation necessarily. Okay, let's see what else this article says. The name of the encounter is called Relentless Replication. Okay. Oh, that won't be in there. Let's see if it's in here. The R4 anomaly. Relentless. There it is. Relentless Replication. So it's listed here. So it is listed under our lockouts. Oh, here we go. The weeklies are listed. Either fly to Ilum or walk through the phase door or use Group Activity Finder. This will be the only encounter listed in that window. Veteran mode is currently blocked. Trash models have not been implemented. The final model for the boss has not been implemented. As a reminder, there are PTS incentives for players to earn. Yeah, I know. Their progress, feedback on the layer boss. Yeah, I just might be missing something here. Let's go back to Volk. Volk usually has a good guide. Okay. The new layer boss in Ilum is coming, yada, yada, yada. Install the piece of false emperor space. Okay, what are lair bosses? Okay, so they're listing Xeno Analyst, the Eyeless, Golden Fury, Colossal Monolith, Genosian Hive Queen, and now the Propagator. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 of them. Okay, let's see. Imperial location, Republic location. Public entrance to the Propagator Core is located in the cargo hold in the main level of the Republic outpost on the eastern ice shelf. The closest quick travel point is Republic, not the Cantina. Okay. Found the entrance. We know that. Similar to Eyeless in every regard, including mechanics, flight structure, and pacing. Every mechanic. Yeah, these are the mechanics of it. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what I'm missing, but maybe it is you just have to queue for it, and by not being in a group or something like that. But I thought Musco said that the new interface was being used. But I don't see it unless there's a data pad I'm missing. All right, well, we'll move on here in a second, but I'm not seeing any kind of, unless it's inside. Maybe they use that interface inside the instance. That could be. So it might be that. Well, you know what? Let's see if we get lucky here. I doubt we're going to get a group. It is almost 11 Mountain, 10 o'clock Pacific on a Thursday. I don't foresee there being a big group up here. I think if I don't find a group that's kind of planning to do it, I'm not sure we're going to get... Oh, there it is. Okay. So yeah, it's the only one listed. Operations are complex, relentless replication. So maybe that's the only way to get it started. I was hoping for a mission terminal thing. All right. Well, I have not read enough to really feel competent in doing it. So we will take that away and go back to Life Day.
I don't even know. Brooks is losing his mind. On to the holiday season, which is Life Day. So it's our winter seasonal event. Oh, we forgot to put the date in there. So Life Day is going to begin. Oh, Brooks forgot to. Life Day is going to begin on December 10th, right? Correct? Confirmed? December 10th is when Life Day is going to begin. So pretend it says December 10th on there. We were going back and forth on the start date. We just forgot to put it in. So December 10th is when Life Day will begin.
Amazing.
There are effectively two things for those of you unfamiliar with Life Day, which is throwing snowballs at people to get snow-covered parcels, which is a currency you then turn in to get a bunch of different rewards, which we're going to show you in a second. And then you can just walk around and hug some Wookiees to get some sweet achievements. And so there's two new rewards, again, that are coming in 7.6. Let's show you what they look like. The first one is the Tursa G1F7.
All right, so I like the new speeder. I think there's 2, 3... I can think of 3 other Christmas-inspired or holiday-inspired speeders. Let's see, is this one up on the... Yep, so this one's up on the other. Which picture is going to be bigger? Let's go over to this one. There we go. So again, yeah, it's a speeder. It's got presents and stuff in it, so nothing crazy, but kind of cool.
7 mount?
Yeah, give out some presents, spread some cheer when you're, doing dynamic encounters on Hoth.
That's right. And the new ornate life.
It's cool. New set of Life Day robes are kind of cool. There's been a Life Day robe forever, but it's really plain. So these are kind of cool.
These are apps. I'm going to be throwing so many snowballs at you because this is a robe that I absolutely love.
Oh, I see.
I just
to get
want,
the rewards.
I just want
not
the
to
robes.
not to be
The
aggressive.
Ornate Life Day robes. They're beautiful. Now, I do want to preface that on the left side of this image, that is a default coloring of the robes, and on the right side is so freaking good. It is dyed with the Havoc Squad red and white dye.
Yeah,
line,
yeah.
which
Just as an example of what it would look like.
50% off now.
That's true. It's 50% off now. That's right. As of 20, I don't know, an hour ago. I don't know how long we've been doing this. I'm trapped in this box.
We're almost hitting an hour. You've almost got your Twitch drop.
Okay, so Life Day is one of the. I can't remember if it was in the original game. I don't think so, but it came in pretty early. You will see giant groups throwing snowballs at overheating droids. I don't think my currency transferred over here to the test center. No, I don't. I think I have like 8,000 snow-covered parcels. So I should be able to just pick up the rewards. I still need to do the hug the Wookiee thing. If they make it easier, I'll probably do it. But I think you need like 1,500 to get the top achievement or some stupid number. And I've got probably like 70 or something. So hopefully they clean that up a little bit. Okay, so they ran a contest to put in screenshots, and they're just going to show a bunch of these screenshots. I'm going to go ahead and go full screen on this so that, they're the easiest to see. So let's turn that off. There we go.
And so we have the best view and SWTOR finalists. Y'all submitted such beautiful shots of the 5 locations that were up, and it was very difficult selecting the finalists, but I'm going to be showing y'all a video, showing them off because I just have to because they're gorgeous. So as previous contests, winners will be announced at a later time, and also the winners get special gilded frame decos of their winning image.
That's right. And then whichever winners are selected, so the winners will get the gilded version of their deco, and then that a regular version of that will be made into a deco that everyone will be made available for everyone. That'll then go on the anniversary vendor, which will go live with 7.6 as well.
Yeah. So that is it for me. We're gonna run the clip, and then when we come back,
it's gonna be me and Papa Keith.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take my resources and head on out. Without further ado, here are the finalists.
All right. I am going to mute this. I don't know if that music is going to cause me an issue. So there is background music. If you want to see these, again, I'll pull up the recap version here. I believe, yeah, they've got the video. If you just want to see these, they've got the video up here on the recap site, or you can just watch the live screen. They're cool looking, so I'll still play the visuals. I just don't want to deal with the copyright claims that sometimes come with music. So let's bring these back up and we'll let them run.
Are we back? Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
Oh.
I think we are back.
I'm only here the first time. I'm not back.
That's true.
I'm just here.
That's true. Keith is here. Who are you?
All right, so congratulations to those who, I don't think I know anybody who made the finalists, but it's cool to see that kind of community engagement. People submitting those kind of things, and they're making art decos out of them so that, people can put those in their strongholds. So kind of a win-win. They get some free content and also just engage with the community. So, all right, let's see what Keith has to say.
I'm the executive producer.
That's true.
Which means I get to look at all of this stuff and comment on all of it.
That is true.
And half this stuff I have no idea you guys are going to say.
That's true. Keith's like, I don't know what we're saying today.
Amazing.
That's great, though. You get to keep us in check and make sure that we don't forget anything, right? That's kind of how that works.
That's how it works. That's the idea.
That is the idea. Okay, so let's wrap this up. But before we wrap it up, let's start with Mac Launcher update, right? So do you want to tell people? And it's funny because when I was over there before, I saw a bunch of people asking about this because we didn't actually have this in the agenda up front. So I know a lot of people were interested. Where are we with the Mac Launcher?
Well, we figured do it at the end so I have something to say.
That's true. There you go.
You've already recapped everything.
I know. I guess so. Yeah. There you go.
Unbelievable. Okay, so all right, the Mac update.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
We've been in test for a number of weeks. Right. We got some great feedback from people. We opened up for a little bit larger test. We got even more feedback. We made some changes. We believe that we're either going to release it fairly soon or just open it to a wide audience. Right. We've got a couple more bugs we got to fix. Right. But overall, it looked really good. I
can dig out my Mac, and I've played SWTOR on my Mac with a Windows client because I boot camp it, so I've got Windows and Mac OS on it. I don't know how it's pretty weak in the Windows version, so if they open that up, I'll try it. But I'm not a big Mac user, so this one has not a ton of impact on me. But if you are a Mac user, cool, congratulations.
Anticipate maybe in the next week or two we'll make a decision about how many more people we can add into the test.
Okay.
And after that, we'll just release it and make it generally available.
Okay. Yeah. So again, our goal is to get Mac Launcher out obviously as soon as we can.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be cool. It could open up some, again, I don't know what the system requirements are going to be. My Mac is pretty old. It's still running the Intel chip. That's why I can run Windows on it. It's a great, I don't have any issues with it, just using it as my work laptop, but it's not much of a gaming system, at least the one I have. But yeah, I know people that run Unreal Engine on their Mac, and it will work. So the newer hardware is definitely good.
Anytime anyone that's watched the stream before, if Keith could tell you a date this moment,
I would tell you a date.
He would. And so goal is to get out as soon as we can. So we'll have more updates in the next couple weeks or so. Cool. All right. Let's recap this.
Okay, just as a forewarning, they're talking about a recap. There's still 22 minutes left in this because they keep just adding stuff on, but there's some cool stuff here at the end. So, we'll keep going.
So we have more Twitch drops. I think we're at an hour, right? Are we at it? There we go. We hit an hour. There you go.
Watching, you should get.
So there you go. You got your first Twitch drop, and
But we've got another 3 hours to go. You get your next.
There you go. We got it. There you go. So we got Twitch drops done. Check that box. The Galactic Thread storyline, again, we kind of talked through where that's going. As Ashley alluded to, that's the one piece that is delayed out of 7.6, but everything else that we're talking about today is not, right? So let's keep that in mind. The remote trading outpost, crazy deck of bundle set that's coming. A lot of really like elaborate things that are in there with 2 different decos, 2 different full sets of decos, along with the 2 mini pets. If Disco was right here, I would show you and shake him and make him play his sweetness. Skeleton Crew inspired items coming to the cartel market, armor set, weapons, etc. So some really, really cool stuff coming in from Skeleton Crew. Dynamic encounters, our new content type coming. Again, really trying to breathe life into the planets that they're there. Comlink, new UI. Again, really just kind of a new way for us to level up kind of how we tell narrative in the places that we use it. We have the new layer boss. Get on there, try not to die, bring your friends, get some sweet stuff like new augments, which I assume is the next bullet. I did it. So thanks, Brian, for talking through that. I didn't call that out earlier, but it'll probably be either today or tomorrow. Bryant is going to make a more detailed post about.
Should be today, right?
About either just all the details about both the new augments, changes to existing augments, and kind of all of the details you'll want to know about how augments are going to be working in 7.6. So keep your eyes out for that. Public test, again, public test has been up for a couple weeks. Our goal is that everything we talk about on today's stream will be minus story will be available tomorrow for 7.6.
So they say tomorrow, so maybe there's some stuff that I just am not seeing. Like he talked about that interface and stuff. Maybe they're going to pop that in. Okay, so at this point, Twitch drops. Yeah, Twitch drops are cool. I got a speeder mount out of it, the first one that they did. The wall art will be the next one, and then a creature mount will be the 4-hour one that will hit in 7.6. So give that I'll give it a B+. B+ to A-. The things that they're giving away aren't that big of a deal, but supporting the streamers by getting them more traffic is kind of a cool thing to do for your community. So we'll do that. Obviously, disappointment in the storyline not coming out. Although I talked earlier about I might be okay with a staggered release of here's a whole bunch of content to do, like dynamic encounters, work on that, and then when you start to get bored of that, boom, here a story hits, right? Instead of it all hitting at once. So we'll see how that goes. Remote trading post decorations, that bundle looks cool. Tons of stuff in it. We'll see how much it costs. But beyond that, this little mission and doubling everything you get for doing the mission, that's kind of cool. Skeleton Crew inspired items, they're okay. Armor and weapons are really just kind of like, what aesthetic do you like? So the more of those they add, I think the better. The one thing that they didn't put in here, though, is that also includes some new hairstyles, which I really like. The braided mohawk looks pretty cool. The half-shaved 2 versions, whatever. And then they are putting the free long hairstyle on, so that's kind of cool. Dynamic encounters, we tested dynamic encounters quite a bit. I think it's a cool system. Hopefully they keep expanding that. The comlink, we talked at length about that. Hopefully, if used correctly, that could push this game, even the whole interface, into a different direction. But at least it gives, some immersive moments. Haven't tried the lair boss yet. Concerns on the new augments because they all come from the lair boss. Although they're making it sound like the drops are going to be so abundant that it's not going to be that big a deal. So maybe these new augments won't be stupid, crazy expensive. And then the test center rewards is kind of cool. Gets people up on the test center to get the stuff.
That'll ideally be tomorrow. And then again, there's some incentives for that.
PvP.
New PvP season,
okay,
along with a couple changes that we talked about are coming.
If you're a PvP and you're going to PvP anyway, having the season and the reward track is cool. I don't have a problem with that.
In as well. And then Life Day, so holiday quarterly event with 2 new rewards for you to earn. Always.
It's nice that they put new rewards on because, again, I've got thousands of the snow-covered parcels, so it's nice to have something to spend them on that's new each year. So they've done a pretty good job with that. It seems like they're adding new rewards each time they run an event to kind of keep you doing the event. So that's kind of cool.
The ticket.
And you've already told them what day it's going to start.
We did. It's starting on, December 10th. Best View finalists. Again, we showed you the finalists. Stay tuned in the next little while. Obviously, it'll be before 7.6. We'll tell you who the winners are. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. And then, is that everything?
No.
Is that?
What I've noticed that you guys didn't talk about, there's something missing.
Is there?
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute. I think we did miss something, didn't we?
We did. And
Well-
I think you should talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually pretty cool. I'm going to let them play it out first, and then we'll talk about what this could potentially mean down the road.
So, turns out we also have another skeleton crew item coming. That's right. Imagine if you were cruising around the galaxy and you said, you know what I would love to do? I'd like to have my companion and my mini pet cruising with me on a mount. That's right. So, as you can see, this is some new tech on a mount that we built here, which is basically companion and mini pet mounts are coming to SWTOR. That's right. Companion and...
Okay, so the general concept I like. It's always weird that you get into a speeder, especially speeders with 2 seats in them, and your companion disappears on you. It'll be interesting because they don't have the interface pulled up here. Will your companion stay out? So if I have if I guard my companion and then I get on a speeder and get off the speeder, the guard goes away because he despawns and respawns. So it'll be interesting to see if they do that. I'm a little curious as to, one, it would be cool if you can choose to swap, right? You know, where you are and where your companion is. I think it would have made more sense to me is like make your companion do the driving, and let me just lounge out, you know, but you know, it's just that's a choice.
And mini pet mounts are coming to SWTOR. That's right.
I'm also going to assume that if you use that mount, you know, like your mini pet won't follow you or things won't despawn and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. But as a general thing, again, we talked about this earlier. This is a new addition to functionality that they didn't have before that you will see more of down the road. Will they go back and retroactively do this to any mounts? We'll see. Because there are some, you know, the ones that look more like actual cars that have 2 seats in them. We'll see if they actually do that. But it's a good sign that they're taking the time to build stuff like this. Because it becomes a new tool that they have to keep the game going.
Thanks for reminding me, Keith. See, this is why we keep you around. So
How can you get it?
How can you get it? Yeah. So let me say what it is first, then we'll get there.
I don't know. I think they want to know how to get it first.
Okay, fair enough. So I will assume it's coming to the cartel market.
Right? No.
Oh, okay. But how do you get it then?
It's magical.
It's magical? Yeah. So the first way you're going to get it is as a
Subscriber amount, right? Reward amount.
subscriber reward. Subscriber reward, yeah.
So basically what we talked about was we could sell this to you, but reality is this, right? We want you to play the game. We want you to have fun with it. So we're going to give it to you for everybody that is a subscriber starting on the 29th of November all the way through January 4th, anytime in there, as long as you are active on the day that 7.6 launches.
Yep.
So as long as you're a subscriber on that day and you subscribe anywhere between the 29th and the 4th, or you're an active subscriber already, right? You already have the 6-month.
Right, if you have like Master of the Fight bundle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Right. Then that works, and we will give this to you.
Yep, yeah. So if you're a subscriber, basically if you're a subscriber on like the 29th, which I know you're going to ask me, is that before 7.6? November 29th is before 7.6 launches, to the question you're inevitably going to ask
Is that
me.
the date it's launching?
It's not launching on November 29th.
So it's
no.
not in November?
No, it is not in November.
So it's probably in December.
That's correct. It is in December, yeah. So if you're...
help you out.
So it's kind of cool that they're, you know, again, there are perks for being a subscriber, but it's nice when they give us things that you have to be subscribed to get. So I'm sure it's frustrating if you're not a subscriber.
If you're subscribed before, so if you're subscribed on like November 29th, you'll get it when 7.6 launches.
Correct.
And then if you subscribe anytime from there or after,
Then we'll make sure you get
you
it.
might just need to relog or something, but then you'll get it right away.
Yep.
So the first of these mounts is the Miram Cicada. Miram Cicada?
Did you say that right?
Miram Cicada. Again,
never say it. Miram.
And
Okay.
it's inspired by Skeleton Crew. It allows you to ride with your companion and mini pets.
But the asterisk is what?
There is an asterisk, right? So as an example, like Bessie wouldn't work with this mount, as you can see, because Wow. I feel, oh my God, I feel bad. Oh my God.
I wanted her to sit next to me.
Oh my God, that was the most doughy-eyed I've ever seen you in my life. Oh my God. That caught me off guard. I'm not going to look at you. Yeah, Bessie will not work in this one. So there will be some exceptions in places where not necessarily all companions would work. So we'll give details for that specifically. But the nice thing is we tricked you a little bit, obviously, because we showed you some mounts earlier in the stream from Dynamic Encounters, which are actually mini-pet mounts. So the two mounts that you can get from Dynamic Encounters, the Desert Saner Frozen Peaks lifters, are actually mini-pet mounts. So not companion mounts, they're mini-pet mounts. So those two, you can take your favorite mini-pet and take them around the galaxy with you, which is pretty sweet.
Does that have an asterisk?
No asterisk to my knowledge on that one.
Okay.
But the other thing too, while we're talking about subscriber stuff, I know there's something else that you like to often gripe about. You're like, I just want to get my character name on my server.
Yeah, the biggest issue I have is I have too many characters and people.
All right, so this is a big deal for non-subscribers. So if you are in that boat, pay attention to this. Because you could get frustrated if you don't. Hopefully they'll make other announcements either in the launcher or on the website or on Twitter. So for instance, both of my boys are preferred players. They don't subscribe. So one of the first things we're going to do, I think immediately, because if I remember right, they say as long as you've logged in between a certain date. But pay close attention to this if you're not a subscriber. If you're a subscriber, there's another perk here. But if you're not a subscriber, definitely pay attention to this section.
Have stolen my name on the different servers, and so I want something back. And so I asked the team, what can we do?
Yeah, it's I don't have a problem with people. I like the free to play. I don't mind people playing that. If you want to play for free, that's cool. If you enjoy the game, though, at least to become a preferred player, you either just subscribe for 1 month and you're a preferred player, or I think it used to be if you spent like $5 on the cartel market, it got you to preferred. So yeah, if I don't have a problem with players, it's like, you know what, I'm going to play SWTOR. My youngest does this. He'll want to play some content, so he'll subscribe for a month or two and play a ton. And then he unsubscribes and goes back to preferred and really doesn't play that much. And then he just kind of pops back and forth. I've been a subscriber since launch, but I play a lot more. So anyway, yeah, it is one of those things that it's hard to complain about a game if you're not willing to at least give them money. Game development is not free. And so that's why I stay subscribed, because I do play a lot. And it also is that's why I mentioned earlier, it's nice when you hear them do things that are like rewarding their subscribers, because we are the ones that fund it for the most part. You do get some whales that just spend a ton of money on the cartel market. They also fund it as well. But anyway, as a preferred, I think it's preferred and free to play. This name change thing is something to pay attention to, though.
About removing all the unused or inactive names. They said, well, we could do a character name purge. I love it.
Yeah.
Make that happen.
Yeah.
Right.
So here's how it works. So inactive character names starting at 7.6 are going to come up for grabs. So here's how this works. Basically, if a character has not been logged into since January 1st. So basically,
it's really key here. I can't stress enough. They stress this a few times. This isn't just you log your account on and all your characters are fine. You have to log in each individual character if you want to protect the name. It doesn't mean you'll automatically lose it, but you have the potential to lose your name. We've gone through this before. We went through this on the when they merged the servers. They actually, when the servers merged, obviously there were going to be name conflicts, and they had a formula to put in of like who got to keep their name and who had to rename. I did a couple of things during that. I looked up all the servers that my server was going to merge with, and then I went up and made characters on all those servers under the same names that I had on my main server, so that I could protect them. And then I knew which ones I didn't have protected. And then the way the formula worked is like, it was like playtime and stuff like that. So I played the crap out of the characters that had name conflicts to try to keep all my names. And I think I lost only one or two in the merge. So these are the little things that you do want to pay attention to.
Almost a year.
Yeah, basically since this calendar year, they will be flagged for rename, and that name will then become available. If you are a subscriber, an active subscriber at 7.6, you're ineligible. So meaning that won't impact you at all. So if you
don't have to do anything.
You don't have to do anything, right? Okay. So if you have a character, so you're an active subscriber, if you have that character on SWTOR that you haven't logged into since 2014, they're just, you
have to keep the name.
Yeah, you're just muling, armor sets that you've been farming, whatever. Doesn't matter. You don't need to log into them. You will not get.
If I'm not a subscriber now, and I am a subscriber by the time 7.6 for it.
You're totally fine. Yeah. So subscribers are completely not impacted by this. It's only if you are not a subscriber and the character has not logged in since January 1st. So if you want to make sure that you keep any of your character names, you need to make sure that you either subscribe before 7.6's launch or log into those characters before 7.6 launches, because otherwise that character will get flagged for
It's
rename.
not just log into your account. It's log into the character on the server that you want to keep the name.
Correct. It is correct. That is, that's very, very important. And as a part of that, what we're going to do, because I think there will probably be a mad dash to then try to get character names that you might want or something like that. The character name consumable item will then be 90% off for 1 week following 7.6's launch, just to give you more opportunity to rename those characters.
And something just to point out that if it's going to be flagged for rename, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll lose a name.
That is correct.
Right. So if in fact you do sign on afterwards and your name is still available, you can still have that name.
Right. If that hasn't been taken. So as an example, if you have the character name Keith, and you log in, and it might show, this it'll be marked as it's been marked for rename. You can just double click it and go, give me Keith again. And if no one has taken Keith on SWTOR, which Keith probably would have, you can just get it back if no one's actually taken that name. But we will mark the character for rename to free it back up on that date.
Correct.
Yep.
Now, I do have a question though.
Yeah.
Right. And probably they're going to ask, is this a one-time thing?
Yeah. So right now, this is just a one-time thing we're doing at 7.6. Ideally, what we want to do going forward, because we know this is a question that comes up all the time, we want to make this something some kind of ongoing thing that happens as some kind of rule or regular thing that happens either on certain updates or something like that. We don't have anything to announce about that today, but just know this is something we'd like to do in the future on a more regular cadence, because we haven't done a name purge in a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be. It's getting to the point now that even sometimes when you hit the random name things, those names are taken as well. So I don't have a problem with this. If you have a bunch of dead accounts that may never play again, but there's the unique naming says that name is taken, cleaning that back up is fine. I can see a little frustration, like if you've been away for 4 or 5 years and you come back and you have to rename your character, but you know what? You've been away for 4 or 5 years. It is what it is. I actually have 2 of my character names came about because I was forced to rename, and I actually like the names better. Although there's one I'm thinking of that I'm going to go try to get again, because it was one I did have to rename. And if I get lucky, I might get that name back. So I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a good idea. Preserve the people who are playing. They should be able to keep their names cool. But if there are accounts that have names that haven't been logged into, I think in the last year is plenty. Getting those names back into the system makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so something we want to do more regularly.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so I think we definitely now have everything for 7.6. I think we've talked about all the stuff that's changed now, right? Is that right? No? I still missed something?
Yes. We have another slide coming up.
Do we have another slide?
We didn't tell you about it.
Oh, we did? Okay.
That's not true. I did tell them about it.
Okay.
The Axel Koi. I mean, you know it's coming up.
Oh, I do. That's right. Okay. So okay. So the other thing that we've talked about a lot in most of our most recent live streams is planetary art modernization. Woo! And you may have noticed it's been absent from this stream.
All right. Oh man, I'll probably let this run. it might get me copyright claimed. I can't remember if this music is anything, but...
And it certainly is not absent from this game update. So you will notice a whole host of art modernization across Tython.
I'm going to pause it every once in a while, see if I can break that. It's just a visual update on the modernization. What I've seen them doing so far is they tend to pick planets where they're going to put new content so that when the new content is put on that planet, it looks better. And as a byproduct of adding that new content, they modernize it. So for instance, they did this on Hutta, right? Where they put the Mabarzi district, the new content, the new daily area up there. And so they were building out new assets and everything for that anyway. And so they just rolled them into the Hutta update. So what this feels like is the planets that they're modernizing. It would not surprise me if in the next couple of expansions or story packs or whatever that we actually see new content on those planets, right? So it's kind of a double bang for your buck. It's like, well, we're building out new content anyway, so let's make the old content look better because of it. So that's what they've been doing so far. Although the character stuff is different, they're about to talk about here. I don't disagree with you on the, make it so that if I want to play a mission over and over and over again, I can. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that change.
And Korriban especially. Those two planets saw some pretty, like, look at this. And, well, you're welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to let that play here in a second, but I am going to jump up to Korriban, and let's see if this is live on test yet or not. Because, again, they've been talking about, like, they're going to roll this out tomorrow. So this version of test may not have it. Yeah, I agree with you 100% there. I think it would be really cool to be able to say, I want to go through the story again. Areas that they would have to figure out to do that are obviously, let's say they said Korriban, right? Yeah. There are aspects of the game that are, your decisions make a difference for future aspects. So they do this with the chapters. You can replay through the chapters of Fallen Empire and Eternal Throne. So the first playthrough sets your decisions, but then if you want to go back and replay those chapters, you can. They also have them on different difficulty levels. There's a story mode, a veteran mode, and a master mode. Doing that for all the content like you're talking about, I think could be really cool. So yeah, no disagreements there. So let's see, where is this? Is this the main entrance? Let's go check here. So right now, just driving through the planet, it doesn't feel a lot different. Okay. Yeah, I think this feels like they've added it. All right, so we'll compare. So that's what I'm looking at. Let's see if I can get the same angle that they have. I'll turn my interface off. Yeah, that's pretty close. There we go. Okay, so it does look like this stuff is live. Going back over here. Let me see if I can get back far enough. So again, okay, here we go. So if they are going to, let's say, add new missions and stuff up here for an expansion. There we go. And they are going to rebuild. Let me turn this stuff off. They're going to rebuild this statue and reuse it as an asset in the new area. Why not also replace it here? Also, it's one of those things that this gives me a good feeling about the potential longevity of the game, in that these are the kind of changes that if you're a new player, it's like this looks old. This game is coming up on 14 years old, right? By going through and updating these things, if you've never played the game and you come in and you see old crappy graphics, that's going to turn a lot of players off. So having these updated and put in, I can see an advantage to it. But again, I hope they're doing this because we're going to see new content come out. So yeah, it does look like, again, this is me live on Test Center right now. And it looks like those things have changed. So as they show us different things here, I'll see if I can find it.
And well, you're welcome. So there's some pretty sizable stuff on Tython and Korriban, and then a bit lesser, but definitely also some art modernization across Ilum and Hoth as well. So again.
All right. Well, I guess that's all they're going to talk about that. We probably don't need to go to Tython to see that change. So
you're going to see modernized art modernization on Tython, Korriban, Hoth, and Ilum. Again, very noticeable on Korriban and Tython. That's where the brunt of the work was, but also some across Hoth and Ilum as well. So really excited to about that as well. Yeah. So again, just so beautiful. Again, there are some just crazy spots where the team especially some of the statues on.
I don't know how much of that is new assets. The tree bark is pretty... Oops, sorry. Wrong button. There we go. I'm seeing a lot of difference in the tree bark and the leaves. The rock stuff is a little bit better. Flowers, grass, roughly the same. Not a huge difference. Like that bush looks pretty much the same. But yeah, definitely more details in the rocks, and the trees look a lot better though. So big improvement there.
Korriban and stuff were just like
texture.
It is amazing. It's astonishing to see some of the before and afters that are there. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think this time we're finally going to stop being coy.
No.
Right?
I have to tell them the truth.
I think we have to
have more for you.
I think we do, yeah. And this is the last one for real, though.
Maybe. So before we get to that, right, I want to point out that the art team has really spent a lot of time thinking about this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
you actually alluded to this in your last producer letter. We had actually teed up that one of the focuses we were moving towards, just as a goal, was art modernization. And we've been talking about this in environment art modernization.
Right.
But that's not what we're talking about.
Not this time. This time we're talking about characters.
That's right. This time we're talking about characters. And
all right, so I'm in the character creator right now. First thing that I notice here is that free hairstyle. I believe that's it. So it's already on the test center. I believe the NPC had red. So there we go. She does have a mustache here. I don't know if that's on purpose. She also has the mohawk. So let's fix her complexion. There we go. Is that a bug or? Oh no, we got beards. I can't remember if that's on live or not, but that's the new free hairstyle. Obviously the cartel market ones I can't get to, and none of my unlocks. Like I have a bunch of bonus hairstyles and stuff unlocked on live, but they don't transfer over here. And let's see. That looks to be female only. Yep, I think it's a female only hairstyle, so. All right, so there you go. So that one's already on there. I'm going to go ahead and make a character. So as they talk about some of these other things, I'm going to build a character and see if we can see any of the improvements that they're talking about.
And the amazing thing is, I saw, because I was watching chat, we were watching chat when Ashley and Caitlin showed the video earlier. And so I saw just like 3 or 4 people were
Noticed
like,
it, right?
they did catch it. So let's talk about this. And then we'll show you, because obviously I think everybody's like, please God, show me, show me, show me. Now that I know that I'm looking for it, show me. So top line goal, because this is super important, was to improve the fidelity of your characters across the game. Sorry, and I should say fidelity of characters, not just yours, but the fidelity of characters across the game while making sure that your character stayed uniquely yours, right? Like,
I created it. It looks a particular way that I want it to look.
Right.
And you've kept that.
Right. I mean, for a lot of the people, especially watching this stream, and I mean, like, us, like, we've played this game since the day it launched, right? I have had the same main since day one, right? And so to have that character's identity change would be impactful, right, in a not great way. And so we were very sensitive to making sure that it still felt like it was uniquely your character, the one that you made, right?
Right.
So that was top line goal, start to finish. So the way we did this is we actually attacked it from basically 4 different directions. First up, targeting character textures. I love that you're going to please mime all of this.
Okay.
Character textures. Ocular specularity, which is the white soul in the eye, and then lighting improvements and shader improvements, which
I
is
don't know how to do shaders,
which is
though, you know,
skin and hair, skin and hair.
The best I could do it.
Skin and
Sorry,
hair.
guys. I know that's not what shader means, but when I think of shade, right? Yeah.
Which is skin and hair shader improvements. So the important thing here is that the character textures specifically apply to humans, Chiss, cyborgs, Miralukins, Mirialans, Togrutas, Ratatakis, and Zabraks.
You can't say that part.
I definitely am not saying it again because you could just read it. That's what's happening starting in 7.6. Obviously, our goal is to continue this modernization, so ideally we'll see more of that in the future. Everything else that's listed there, ocular specularity, lighting changes, and the shader improvements are across the whole rest of the game. And again, the important thing about this character improvement is that this would impact any character across the entire game that uses the same model that player characters do, right? So the only exceptions here would be like Lana, that's a unique model. She wouldn't necessarily see these improvements. She would see some improvements from maybe lighting changes and stuff like that and shaders, but she wouldn't see the texture changes because that would only affect the player, anyone that uses the player characters, right? But I'm sure you're like, stop talking and show me. So I'll stop talking and I will show you a before and after example, right? So this is a good example because on the left, you can see that the character's skin is just like.
All right. So again, what we're looking at is small changes. We can see it in the skin. The skin texture just has a little more depth to it. They're going to talk about the eyes in a bit. The specular highlighting in the eyes definitely has a change. But again, this update doesn't make the character look so different. The one that will probably impact people the most is the skin tones. The skin tones appear to have changed a little bit. That might be, we'll just call it annoying. We shall see. All right, I'm going to try to get this character out into the light here. Where's the shadows coming from? Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Plastic, right? But on the right, you can see there's defined texture, soul in the eye, very clear, lighting coming into them,
But you can see it's the same character.
But it's the same character. It doesn't feel like it's suddenly a different character. So the team knocked this out of the park.
So I don't know, just in looking at this, let's see if I can force my camera closer, maybe. I can get her in the light. Yeah, I'm not seeing, even in the eyes, I'm not seeing, oh, sorry, I didn't make this one big. I'm not seeing the lighting in the eyes, so this might not be active yet. All right, let's keep taking a look at what they're doing.
It feels like in so many ways like it's a different game, but it's the same. We have been so stoked to show you this. We literally built this on a different branch to hide it so that no one would ever know we were building this.
Couldn't data mine it.
Yeah, you couldn't find it. You couldn't find it. So the for real, we're not joking with just one more thing this time. Maybe, but no, for real. The for real this time. So here's what is actually coming in 7.6, just as a real quick recap so you have it in one place. And then when we're done talking, by the way, we have a really nice long video to show you a bunch of before and afters.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, kind of. Yeah, okay. So again, more Twitch drops are coming. We're probably at like 4 hours now. I don't know. You have your Twitch drops, I imagine. Those Twitch drops. Galactic Thread storyline, as we've talked about. Remote trading outpost echoes coming in 7.6, along with a bunch of skeleton crew inspired items. Dynamic encounters, our new big content type, along with Comlink. New layer boss. Try not to die with your friends or bring your friends to kill the boss, along with new augments to support it. PTS testing is ongoing now. Ideally, new build goes up tomorrow where you can see all of this, including the art modernization, and get some new rewards for it. New PvP season coming in 7.6, along with some of the changes we talked about. Life Day with new rewards to earn for it. We have the best few finalists that we showed you today. We'll be announcing the winners in the next couple of weeks. Mac Launcher testing is ongoing. We should be announcing some more news on that hopefully very soon.
Very quickly. Yep.
Very quickly. Yep. Companion and mini pet mounts, which is a sub reward, so make sure to sub in the next few weeks, so that especially that you're coming over the 7.6 window, so that you can just get it for free, so that you can cruise around with your favorite companion kicked up in the sidecar, which is the Mam Cicada. Yep. Name purge coming, so make sure to sub or log into your favorite character and be ready to claim your favorite name, which is Keith.
That date happens on launch day.
That happens on 7.6 launch day. That is correct.
All right, so I think they're about to unofficially announce the launch here. So let's listen close and see if we agree.
Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure, because I want to ask you when that's happening.
I know you do, yeah. Look, people could probably do some math about what dates I've said it is not and what date things are happening Life Day and probably figure out.
I said it wasn't the 29th.
I said it wasn't the 29th.
You know it's not the 3rd.
And Life Day starts on the 10th.
And it's before our anniversary, which is the 20th.
Right,
so
and Life Day.
You can figure out from there.
Yeah, and Life Day starts on the 10th, people. So just like,
But I'm not supposed to tell you that it's the same day as Life Day.
Yeah, just close in the box, people.
So there was the... I don't think it's very subtle, but let's listen to that again.
Right.
So
and Life Day.
You can figure out from there.
Yeah, and Life Day starts on the 10th, people. So just like,
But I'm not supposed to tell you that it's the same day as Life Day.
Yeah.
So, he just flat out says, I'm not supposed to tell you it's the same day as Life Day. And again, they're going to want to try to launch it before the 20th and after November 29th. So I think everything is pointing to December 10th. December 10th is the day that Life Day is supposed to launch. And so based off of that, he could be not being honest there, but he basically to me just said we're launching 7.6 on the same day as Life Day. So December 10th is the date I'm going to consider, at least right now, as the unofficial 7.6 launch date. So I'll listen to it one more time just to see if you agree or disagree with me. But
and Life Day starts on the 10th, people. So just like,
But I'm not supposed to tell you that it's the same day as Life Day.
Yeah, just close in the box, people. This guy. This guy.
You should hear all the groans over here. It's pretty funny.
And we have obviously the big thrust of art modernization, which Keith has been alluding to inside of producer letters and stuff, is the planetary art modernization across Korriban and Tython, Hoth and Ilum, and then the big thrust of character art modernization, which you now get to know about today. Surprise.
And the video is going to show them what?
All of it. It's going to show the art modernization. So it's a whole bunch of before and afters for planetary art modernization and then some before and afters of character modernization as well.
All right. So to help make sure they got their Twitch drop, we're going to give them another couple
We're going to give you another 3 minutes if somehow you haven't gotten your Twitch drop. That is going to do it for all of us here today. Right. We have been so stoked to finally be able to talk to you about all of this coming in 7.6. This is the big update that's like 6-point font right now with this bulleted list. Just a reminder that, again, all of this minus the story is going to be on, and the MTX items, I guess, are going to be on PTS, hopefully when we stand it up tomorrow. So please go on and check it out. Let us know what you think. I'm eager to go look at chat and hope see some all caps yelling at us with people being pretty stoked
And
about it.
don't forget to log into your accounts, log into your characters so you can keep your names if you care to do that.
Right.
Or easily just subscribe. I know I'm selling, but just subscribe, and then you don't have to worry about any of that.
And you'll also get the new companion mount, right? That's the only way to get the companion mount as well, and is to subscribe. So easy crossover there as well. Again, thank you all. We've been so stoked to talk about 7.6, so I'm glad that we finally get to do it. We hope you enjoyed it, and thank you to the team for talking about it. Team Bread, Caitlin and Ashley. You need a team name. Everybody needs team names now, but.
And we'll mention Ted because he's been sending out stuff on social because Jackie's been sitting over here yelling at us, telling us not to say that, right? So, right.
So,
but anyways,
pleasure.
You said it anyways.
Yeah.
You guys have a great one.
Thank you all. We'll talk to you next time. Yep. Right. Bye. Enjoy the video.
Okay, I'm gonna let this play while I kind of talk through my impressions. So we'll have a nice backdrop. Let's go ahead and we'll shut these two down. But I'm also going to mute it so that, again, I just don't want to deal with the copyright claims that potentially could happen. So turn it down in my headphones. Okay, so a lot of stuff, new gameplay systems, updates, whether it's visual or otherwise. I do like that they're building in new systems like the comlink system, things like that. Adding the new way that mounts work, that's kind of cool. So a lot of things that feel like they're trying to make it so the engine itself can support future things they want to do. So from that standpoint, it does feel like there is a future for the game. Disappointment in the story, it's like that is probably the thing that arguably I think most players would probably want the most. A lot of players don't get all that excited about some core gameplay system that's going to improve future encounters or something like that. Dynamic encounters obviously are pretty big. A new lair boss is kind of nice. I don't like that did they change the skybox? I don't like that they linked it to all the new stuff to the new augments and stuff to the new lair boss and new currency and all that kind of stuff. That it's weird because we go through these cycles where we get currency resource inflation, and then eventually they have to purge all that out and make it simpler again, and then they just start that cycle over. That happens a lot, but yeah, the skybox changed some, it looks like. See if I can catch it. Oh, there's a lightning flash. There we go. Maybe not as much as I originally thought. I think it's just a slightly different angle. You can definitely see the difference in the ice. A little bit anyway. Let's see how much this changes in here. Lighting. Actually, if they do this to Hoth, I don't know if they said they're doing this to Hoth. Making the planet less bright might not be a bad thing. All right, but by and large, liking the majority of this stuff. So, seems actually pretty cool. The name purge will be nice. Let's see, is there anything else on the list? Wish they would have put that bullet list up here on the recap video, but this is probably the most dramatic. I think Korriban probably has the most visual change going on in it. That was average. Yeah, that one was okay. The statues, they really did a lot on the statue. Whoever did the statue work was really into their job. Actually, did the floor change on that? No, it's the same pattern. About the same. But by and large, yeah, I'm excited. Excited for the changes. I think it's moving the game in a good direction. Don't necessarily disagree with Hugo though. Every team is going to have a limited amount of resources they could put in things. So I think it is very much worthy of debate of, are the things they're adding worth and what people want, right? I agree. I'd much rather see, so like the planet modernization is one we talked about. Would I rather see that or add more story stuff or the type of things we're talking about, building in the system so I can replay the story or things like that. It's a judgment call. I can see both sides of that though, because this game was built off of its story, and by not adding story fast enough, I think it is hurting the game. So we will see. But then on the flip side, they are also competing with games that are much prettier than this. So I'm not sure, but yeah, Hugo, I think I agree with you. I would have liked to have seen more, especially now that the story, like if they would have made the announcement this way of like, you know what, we were working on the 7.6 story. We didn't get the story done, but we went ahead and put in a system that will now let you go back and replay past stories that you've already done. It almost would have been kind of like, okay, cool. We got a cool thing out of it. So maybe a missed opportunity there. Let's see if we can get a shot of how much is the facial hair changing? Because I could see the complexion stuff being a pretty big thing. Not a ton. Yeah, I think it's just, it could be one of two things. It could be, there's definitely a texture update. The specular highlighting. The nice part about things like that is something that just might be an engine improvement. So they're getting it for a relatively cheap cost, right? Like it's just this was built on the Hero engine, which is really old at this point. And even the textures, right? Like they may have figured out a way to do a batch process on those textures. It's less stark. Like look at the scar on his left cheek. Like that looks, it's more defined in that one, but honestly that probably looks more real. What about the above the eye? About the same in the above the eye section. So I think a lot of this is coming down to the lighting, and that could just be an engine improvement. Could really see the difference on the Mary Allen there. It definitely brings more. I think the eye highlight is probably the biggest deal. It brings more life. And again, I think there's some texture work there. You can see the smile line there getting some more texture. But I think a lot of that is the lighting change. Let's get to the Mary Allen. Come on. All right, we'll jump forward. Oh, too far. There she is. Did I pass it? Yep. Okay, so here's the line that comes across. So pretty muddy. Again, I think the eyes is a lot of it. And so if you look at the lighting on the bottom lip, you can really see the harshness of the old lighting system. It's much softer, which is more natural looking. If we look at her right, same thing, like on the right side of her neck there, you got that harsh cut line there for lighting. Hold on. The game's trying to kick me out for not being active. There we go. Right, but as we work our way across here, so right there, you can see now the neck, it doesn't have that super sharp line. But again, I think that's all mostly in the lighting model, which in the grand scheme of things means they didn't have to go in and like texturing is probably a little more work, but the lighting is once you get the engine to do it for you, it's not like you have to go in and change every asset. You just kind of get that for free. So that's not too bad. All right. I believe that is it. So thank you for listening to me rant, ramble, and talk about a game I do really, really enjoy. So, you know, it is, let's see, let's get this back down to, there we go. Turn you on. It is definitely a game I enjoy. It is cool to see them putting some time and effort into making this a game that will continue to be viable. You know, so it is one of those, there we go. We'll get the nice logo up there. And a lot of those improvements feel like they could be things that are laying the foundation for future pieces. And that is exciting as well. So, with that being said, I think that's going to do it for tonight. I'm going to do some checking. If I can figure out a way to get into a group that's going to try to do the lair bosses on test, I would love to stream that and get that up and going. So no guarantees there. Tomorrow night, I'm considering, Friday night, I'm thinking about doing, Steam is doing a sale on cooking games. I'm thinking about maybe pulling some of the demos of those and just trying them out. We might do something like that. If there's certain content you want to see, definitely let me know. Saturday morning will be our normal charity stream for Extra Life. We're doing quite well. We got a really, really big donation here this last week. So that's pushed us up into the almost $4,000 this year for Children's Miracle Network. So we'll do that on Saturday. Most likely that's going to be our normal, we'll do Galactic Seasons because I still am chasing an achievement there. I've got to get the 100 missions done, which we're in the mid 70s somewhere on that. So that's kind of the plan for the next couple of days. Sunday, I'm not 100% sure. As always, if there's any content that you want to see or type of things you want to see, whether it's within SWTOR or another game, definitely reach out to me, especially SWTOR stuff. I'm always looking for something different. So if there's certain things you want to see or certain items or questions you have, I want to present myself as a ambassador to the game, right? If there are, no question is too newbie. You know, if you're struggling with something or you want to know something about the game, either drop it in the comments or join me in the live streams. I will stop the planned content and go off and do something completely different based off of a viewer question. I have no problem doing that. So if I can be a resource, I am happy to do so. So with that being said, I think that is it for us for tonight. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you got something out of it. The links in the description will take you to the original video on Twitch, the original video on YouTube, and the page that has the recap on it as well. So if you want to look up any of those details yourself or look at some of the other, you know, the items, the gear, the character customizations, any of that kind of stuff, you can do that there. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and call it. As always, we will say, please go watch, play, or create something great. Support gaming communities in all their flavors, and have a wonderful rest of your night, and we'll see you tomorrow.